Gotta fix a few things. Sorry I had the random delay. Scotty, no, go away. Whew. So, yeah. Good evening, Den folk. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're all doing fine and dandy. I know I am. Welcome to the Den. If you're not familiar with the Den, I think we changed the Den slogan. Beyond a funny nigga, you wasn't here early, nigga. I think we changed the Den slogan. I'm not sure what to. I got like 2 or 3 different titles I use, but I think I know which one it's gonna be. It's one someone referred to me a while back. They thought would be a very, a very good idea. Aside from that, let's talk about it. Hey, you know. Again, it's Friday, man, and you know, Friday generally we talk about a variety of things, but we still will. But I want to kind of talk about because y'all was all on that Pastor Wilson, and nobody knew. Y'all see, Pastor Wilson is just like Robert Smith. Nobody knew who Pastor Wilson was before yesterday. Didn't they go eat a little box, and now he starting a Pornhub channel. Y'all signed up to his OnlyFans account and his motherfucking premium Snapchat. And they got a premium Sunday Snapchat. What kind of shit is that? I ain't never heard. You know, I guess that's what it is. You can have the gay naked barbershop. I guess you can have the premium Sunday Snapchat, right? I'm making this up, so don't go start telling people that this nigga got a Sunday Snapchat. He wild and he eating box in the pulpit. No, that's not happening. I'm just cracking bad jokes. You feel me? All right, make sure everything is copacetic. I had to update a couple of things. Let's see, we got joining us this evening, man, and I hope you all are well. Let's see. Coltrane, what's the motherfucker do? And I believe you. I was reading what you said there earlier about the about some of the things that's going on with the show. I believe it. I want to go see what that Mark Zuckerberg. It's a couple of things I need to catch up on. I'll probably end up watching later on tonight. Only one lie. What's the motherfucking deal? Cartier, what's the motherfucking deal? Rashida Reed in the motherfucking building. Miss Bell, what's the motherfucking deal? The bell has rung. Class is in session. D the Gamma. Always good to see you, Miss D the Gamma. I rock rough and tough with my Afro puffs. Sweet Berry, need you to send me some of that cobbler via email. I'll be waiting. Let me check my Palm Pilot. Shelly Long, stop pounding. Look. I ain't even finna get that. I ain't even finna go at it. I'm gonna let it. I'm gonna just leave it be. Solis, what's the motherfucking deal? Solis, glad you could join us, man. Shout out to Solis, man. I like Solis. Comes with a lot of very thoughtful comments, thoughts, questions. Very interesting. Very interesting. Dan Strong, what's the motherfucking deal, Dan Strong? Glad you could join us. Beyond the funny nigga. I know, Beyond, don't get mad, because I know your aspirations are to become a pastor one of these days. You know, Beyond the funny nigga is gonna become the first only Instagram pastor. You can only catch his sermon by stories. But shout out to Beyond the Funny Nigga, man. If you're not watching the Beyond the Funny Nigga podcast, you're missing out. And I'm looking forward to Halloween coming up very soon. So if you're not following Beyond the Funny Nigga, man, Beyond the Funny Nigga has a bright future in comedy. So make sure that y'all follow and catch his stand-ups via the gram. His stand-up, I guess what you would call them, stand-up stories. They're very entertaining. Female Pimp. $335 in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? 335. Kemah James in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? It's your boy Roman. What's the motherfucking deal? Zach Riley. What's the motherfucking deal? Let's see. What am I missing? That sounds like a new name. So if you're new to the Den, welcome to the Den. Wow. That's wild. I believe it though. Like I said, there's a lot of stuff going on in that church. A lot of stuff going on in the confession booth. You don't even want to know. Bama boy, what's the motherfucking deal? Jason S, what's the motherfucking deal? If I missed you, I ain't dish you unless it was female pimp. But I be getting female pimp. But I like female pimp. Sometimes. It's just a terrible troll. Y'all seen that? Y'all seen that video that's been going around with the little boy? Y'all was having it. That shit is so fucking funny to me. That's you need to be talking about the damn past. Somebody need to chop that up. Nah, don't put the kid in the pastor video. That's probably illegal or something. So for those of you who may be asking, no, I will not be showing any of the pastor video during the stream. And depending on what time we get done, I plan on going 2 hours, maybe giving y'all a little bit of Mixer love later on this evening. I kind of want to fuck up some more of that World War Z I was playing. I like the little zombie shit. I want to maybe give me that Left 4 Dead vibe. I want to play some more of that. So we might have a little bit of Mixer crew this evening. We'll see how it is. And I am going to get more stringent on the 10-minute rule because I know with a lot of people waiting on hold, it's unfair to the people who are on hold. Extended amounts of time to, who are trying to get in. So we will be strict to the 10-minute rule tonight. So let's get into it, man. So if you don't know, David E. Wilson, pastor at Bible Life, some crazy long name church up in Texarkana, Texas. Up that way. I don't even know where it's at. But I almost threw the pastor costume on for this one tonight, but I'm gonna save it for Sunday. We're gonna save it for confessions. We're gonna finally get one of these confessions in. But yeah, so I don't want to even specifically talk about him because it's not about him. It's not about just him. It's about I want to kind of talk about the black church, but even I'm not just really talking about the black church because it's the church in general. Because you see all these allegations from all the Catholic priests and stuff that happened. You see the allegations from the money schemes or whatever you want to call them. These motherfuckers be driving Bentleys. Y'all remember Kearney Thomas used to come on BET Late Night Uncut. Get your personal God! He used to be on there spazzing and give you a little raggedy rag and some alcohol and tell you it's a personal prayer. Man, you can't even wipe your TV with that shit. That motherfucker there, man. That nigga used to ride a Bentley on 24s. Nigga, when rappers was lying about having Bentleys on 24s, this nigga had a Bentley on 24s. This nigga was riding through the hood, dipping and dabbing. I remember I pulled up on next to that side of that nigga one time. I went to rob that nigga. That's when I was a little bit more foolish. I ain't want to, I ain't know if he was really a man of God or not. I ain't want to get, I ain't want to make the bad move. I'm talking shit. That motherfucker a scam artist, man. Yes, the church is in Texas. And if we have any Yankees fans in here tonight, so what I want to talk about, like I say, is just the church as a whole, this idea of the church. And I don't think it's every single person. I do believe that there are genuine people out there who are trying to do better for other people's lives. But then I think there are people out there who are trying to take advantage of people's weaknesses, spiritual weaknesses, people who have, who want to do better, who have no idea other avenues to go, and they exploit them for money, you see all kind of sexual shit that goes on in these fucking churches. You give people power, people think that these are men of God, and they have a direct connection with God. Like I say, people are funny. The mentality of people is very funny. And what I mean by that is that there are a lot of weak-minded people out there. You see situations every other day with somebody fucking around in the church. But what I want to know about this is just like, why does this continue? It seems like, I'm not going to say it's more prevalent in the black church, but being black men, niggas, I'm going to tell y'all why this story stood out. Because why is it, again, like, these motherfuckers are relative unknown. And like I said, the internet is bad. These YouTube streets, it's like you got like the YouTube suburbs. You got like the YouTube like high class area. You got like the YouTube suburbs, they all right. You got like the YouTube like middle class kind of shit going on. Then you got like lower middle class YouTube. Then you got the YouTube hood. You know what I'm saying? I'm like in between like the lower middle class YouTube hood. You don't want to cross that track. Like you don't want to cross YouTube MLK Street. You don't want to cross MLK Boulevard right across the train tracks. And YouTube MLK, you cross over there, you done for, son. But I'm real close to YouTube MLK, right? So what happens is I hear about all this. Like I don't really want to hear about this stuff. I'm trying to move up to the YouTube, to the YouTube high rises. I'm trying to get one of them YouTube penthouses. That's what I'm trying to be. I'm just fucking up. I'm saying? I'm stuck in these streets. But the thing about it is, the Cushman was a trap house, way past MLK. Those were the days. We might be moving back if I don't get right. 288 parallel. Yeah, that's what I'm trying to get over there, man. But so, but like I said, I look at this as just like this unknown pastor. Like I don't think he was on the level of the Creflo Dollars and the or the Kearneys or the what's the other dude? What's the other dude? TD Jakes. It was the young dude. Who's the one that got sick? Who was the one? Eddie Long, I think, was the one that got sick. And the crazy thing is, I've never listened to any of these people. But how do I know their names? Because this is the type of shit you be hearing when you over there listening to, when you right next to YouTube MLK Boulevard. You know what I'm saying? You gonna hear some shit. Some shit gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? You take the wrong turn, you're gonna hear some things. And so all of these guys, it's always a scandal. And again, we can talk. We want to get into Houston. We want to look. It ain't gotta be just anyway. We ain't gotta just talk about the black folk. We can talk about fucking what's his name too. Your boy. They won't let nobody in on the hurricane, man. We can talk about him. We can talk about all kind of people. He got on it early this year, huh? When it was just a tropical storm or some damn tropical depression. Oh, the doors are open to the church. Come on in. You know what I'm saying? This is why ain't nobody go to every fucking thing. I be talking about everybody, especially trying to hold it down for the city. They be like, this nigga talk about everybody in Houston. Ain't nobody fucking with this nigga. This nigga was on this shit early, right? He was like, shit, But here's my thing, But I think there are a lot of churches out there that do good, that do have good intentions. But I think you have people who assimilate or who get power within the church or within these religious organizations, and they start smelling themselves. They realize that and I agree, Dan, and that's exactly where I want to give Joel Osteen, that's what I'm talking about. Shout out to Hector, man. Broderick in the building. What's the motherfucking deal? And I'm definitely glad you're here, Broderick, because I want to know your feelings on this. But that's what I'm saying. So some of these guys, they get a little bit too much power. They think that they are God, almost like they are the end all be all. You see some of this stuff that happens overseas, like in Africa, and that's why I say are niggas more susceptible to the tomfoolery, because who was it? Who saw the one? I don't know if y'all ever saw the video that the chick talking about the dude was talking about she had a dick sucking demon, and she talking about she was spitting up white stuff in the trash can. She was giving invisible blowjobs to the dick sucking demon. The guy in Africa who said that he was bringing people back from the dead. The the one had the dude rocked up in the middle of the church. All the women folk was looking at it like, what's going down? They all people had the dude on some Viagra in the middle of the church. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like, come on, man. And so this is just how I feel like in any role, in any capacity. It's not just the church. I look at like, with law enforcement, with anybody. If you assume a role that is higher than the average populace, if you assume a role that's higher than the average populace, then I feel like you have to be held to a higher standard. Are they human? Yes, absolutely. People are human beings. People fuck up. But at the same time, you have to be held accountable. But the thing about a lot of these people who assume these roles,
Dan Strong donated $5. Dick sucking demons. We are lost.
I'm telling you, I want to believe that was in Africa. I'm hoping it stays in Africa. But yeah, it was like those African churches are the worst. The one African church with the dude was making out with the little girl. Talking about she had some type of evil. She couldn't have been 14, 15 years old. And he making out with her in front of the whole damn church, talking about he taking it. Like, there's just some shit that's going on that is just like, there's a point where you have to say, okay, this don't make any fucking sense. You know what I'm saying? Like, this doesn't make any fucking sense. Like, why this shit that's floating around Facebook? Like, why is this happening? Why is the dick sucking demon was in Brazil? I mean, I don't know. Like I said, I know it was niggas. That's all it was. I know it was black people. What they call niggas in Brazil? I don't know. But we're all sinners. Absolutely. Absolutely. I am a sinner. I am a sinner. But my thing is, and I appreciate the love, Dan Strong. Shout out to Dan Strong. I appreciate it. But I feel like there has to be a point where you have to hold yourself to a higher fucking standard. And what I mean by this is this old, like say old buddy, right? He went out, if he's fornicating on his wife. Now, if she with it, I'm sure that some of these church wives, they know what it is. They happen to, they know that, Negroes, they know that the man has a lot of power. All the single church women, it's a lot of reasons. It's a reason a lot of single women be floating about in the church, not always for the right reasons. And these men, these pastors, or whatever. And again, I've never really been to the black church. I told you I was raised Jehovah's Witness. I haven't really been. I've like maybe attended once or twice other different types of church, so I don't know the whole format from pastor, deacon, reverend, all this other weird stuff. But these people hold themselves like they're above the rules. You know, we get mad and we get upset. We talk about certain like with law for they think they're above the law, but you know, some of these preachers feel like they're above the law of God. You know, if you're a religious person. And so it's certain stuff at a point where you have to say, this doesn't make any fucking sense. And the reason why I say I'm focused on the black church, because I think the black church, it's different. I'm not saying these things don't happen in primarily white churches or mixed churches, non-denominational, whatever is going on. But the reason why I say it's so bad in the black church, especially in the low-income neighborhoods, people go to church, and it's almost like some of these churches, again, depending on what your religion is, some of them ain't with that shit. Some of them are very strict. But some of them, it's like entertainment. You know what I'm saying? It's like, here, we're going to come over, you come through, we're going to pass the collection plate 13 times. You only been here 22 minutes. Somebody, grandma, going to be on here breakdancing. It's going to be a fashion contest. It's to the point now, women used to dress conservatively, at least at church. Now they coming into church. Hey, you know, they taking come as you are a little bit too far. You know what I'm saying? Like, come as you are, not come as you were last night at the club. Like, come on, man. Like, do a little something. Just spray some something on you. Do something. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's a point where it has to be like, hold on, what are we doing? But again, I believe it. But like most of y'all saying, it's a money play. Again, you see a lot of these preachers pass, hey, give me that 10%. Now, again, I'm not.
Dan Strong donated $5. The black church is dead.
Oh, that's sad. And it is very sad. Black Jesus, the cartoon, that shit probably not the cartoon. The Appreciate the Love, Dan. The Adult Swim thing. I've never watched it. I caught like the end of one episode, maybe like a week or two ago. I know it just came back. I think I caught like the end of it. And I always wanted to watch it because I liked old buddy. I don't know if y'all ever seen the skits he used to have on YouTube called Check Your Nuts. That dude is funny. He's funny as shit. And I wish he would have kept the little Check Your Nuts series going. Those shits were funny as fuck. I'll try to post them up if not. Slink Johnson, that's his name? Yeah, I think that's him. But he had like a little series on YouTube. That shit was hilarious. Super funny. But I agree. It's just like now it's the reason why I say it's so much more detrimental in black and urban communities is because you have a lot more suffering. You have a lot more people who are maybe trying to make a change that don't know the way, that may be ignorant to certain things. We talk about literacy rates. We can talk about all those things. If you ain't reading anything, you definitely ain't reading your Bible. And so you just going up with the preacher's only picking out, he uses the same sermon he has 4 sermons for the month. He recycles them using the same 3 scriptures, you know, and picking and choosing what he wants to believe out of them to tell you to do this and that. Now, like I say, I'm not the most adept. I'm not a theologian, or I think is what it is, or a you know, I'm not adept in religion or any of these things. But from what I understood, tithing was supposed to be dead with the New Testament or something like that. Again, and so now, you know, everything else is acceptable. You can talk about the reason why I find it like weird is, like I say, because you can have 3 similar churches. They can be Baptists or whatever they are. You can have 3 churches on the same block, and each one of these 3 churches is going to tell you something different. What? Hold on, Shelly. Yeah, hold on. Yeah, keep dialing. How about that, Shelly? Yeah, fuck, keep pounding, keep dialing. The line will be open soon. And so my thing is the lack of uniform teachings. You know, they could all be Southern Baptist. One of them might say, we don't accept gays. You know, y'all gonna condemn and burn in hell. Might be like the cussing preacher who used to bring all the gay people on there and harass them. You might have one that's open and accepting to all and embracing any and everybody. Everything's okay. Everything's good here. You know, you may have one who's more strict. Like I say, that's the thing that bothers me. LaDon, what's the motherfucking deal? Glad you could join us. And I agree. A lot of people want to feel like they're a part of something. A lot of people want to be a part of it. And people go into church, they gossip. They, you know, spread rumors about each other. Like, this is supposed to be a place where you're supposed to do better. You're supposed to get better. You're supposed to teach each other. You're supposed to help each other. But yet, again, we are all human. We are supposed to be learning and improving and becoming better. But it doesn't seem like, like I say, it seems like a lot of people go to church, you know, get whatever they get out of it and bounce and then go back to doing the same shit they're doing. Or like I said, I don't understand some religions where, well, once you've been saved, everything's all good. But then you go get saved and you go back to doing the same stuff. Like, shouldn't you be saved and then once you're saved, you're on a different path of behavior? No, you're not going to be perfect. Yes, you may regress, but like, isn't there still supposed to be a standard in which you're supposed to, you know what I'm saying? Like, in what you're supposed to do with yourself? Again, and so I know a lot of people say, "Oh, I've been saved, so I'm just automatically going to heaven." Again, we don't have to get into your afterlife beliefs. I just kind of want to focus on what is going on, not necessarily with the specific religions, but the way people are being exploited through these things. And again, I don't think every single one is bad. I think it gets to a point where a lot of these mega churches, where I think that there are some questionable things. But I think some of these small congregations and religions and things of that nature, I think they have good intentions. I don't think everyone. I think there are people who genuinely, who feel like they're teaching and preaching the right thing, and they're trying to help people. If it's come to know Jesus or whatever religion, I don't know if it's Muhammad or whoever it may be, whoever y'all getting down with. Don't ask me. But I think that there are genuine people out there. But I think there are a lot of people who see it as a way to exploit it. I don't know if, like I say, I'm not a. I used to watch. Give me like 3-4 more minutes. I'm open up the line. I used to watch. Who was that? John Oliver. You know what I'm saying? And John Oliver, he just like I say, it was funny because, like I said, I'll watch anything. Like I said, that's why I say I don't think I'm too far right. If you're super far right, you're not going to watch John Oliver. If you're super far left, you're going to love everything he says. I will watch it, and some of it would be funny, some of it would be like bullshit. Yeah, it's really bad now. Like, he got super. Everybody got hit by the Trump situation. Like, everybody went like. Once Trump came, everybody just changed the game. You better do this, and you better act this way. You better like. But he had one about religion a while back. And that's what I said, like, yeah, I really can't even watch it. I agree with you, Coach. Like, I forgot what it was. It might have been a couple of seasons ago. But like I said, I used to watch them like regularly. Okay, I would watch, this, what is it, Last Week Tonight or whatever. Well, okay, usually they're pretty funny, and but then it just got super all about politics, and it just, everything's Trump, 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 and you get tired of that. Like, I understand. Like, I thought Trump derangement syndrome was a joke, but I get it. But anyway, John Oliver had one about preachers, and it was this one clip that stood out, and they would just show some of these televangelists, and I think televangelists are like the worst, because how do you really build a connection with people you never meet, you never see, you never, get to know face to face, right? So when the guy was on there talking about, you're trying to use your credit card to pay the rent. Well, that ain't even enough to pay the rent. You need to send that money to me, and I'm going to hit you with this blessing prayer, and it's going to make all the money you need. You're going to get the rent money. You're going to get the house money, and it's just like these people telling people to spend their last. This is not even a joke. This is like real shit, though. These motherfuckers, like, I'm not even like over exaggerating this shit. I'm not over exaggerating. You should tell them to spend on. You ain't got the money. Put it on your credit card. If you put this money, you're gonna get such a great blessing for putting this on your credit card that all your credit card debts are gonna get paid off, and all this other stuff. Then the motherfucker would say, yeah, I just bought a plane. Oh, I see some of you guys in here aren't happy for me that I bought a plane. Well, guess what? I just went back and bought another plane, cash. And the people were making like a groaning noise. And he's like, oh, well, be happy for me. What are you groaning for? You better be happy. He was like, wait, I don't got the plane. Why am I happy? But it's like some of the stuff, and it's not just one. It's a lot of them. Creflo Dollar, it actually happened with Evander Holyfield with Creflo Dollar. Wow. But Creflo Dollar, I remember him saying that, yeah, like really the amount that, like, man, fuck your bills, fuck how you living. You pay this 10%, then it's all gonna come back to you. Now you down bad. Grandma out of the house, she can't afford nothing. She broke. She getting evicted. Where's the church? Lights off. Where's the church? Like, fuck that light bill, fuck that rent. Give us some more 10%, and they don't care. They pulling up Bentley. They pulling up their downside. It might be a Houston church. Somebody on swingers in the Bentley. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's all crazy. First trip was the motherfucking deal. So. The thing about Creflo, and I remember his was a big deal, but the other dude was bigger than him. They ran up on him. It was an Inside Edition, ran up on him. What's his name? I can't remember his name. The older dude. He's like, he was shook when they caught him. Wow, that's how Holyfield got handled? Wow, that's crazy. Holyfield took too many blows to the head. Creflo Dollar told motherfuckers to come together and buy him a $60 million plane? But this is what I'm saying. People are so blindly following this stuff, knowing that they haven't received any blessings from these people. But these are the people who feel, like I say, they feel like they're above God. But the thing is that there are people who elevate them. There are people who inspire them to feel that way. There's a reason these people feel that way, because these congregations, these people are making them feel that way, man. That's sad, man. That's sad as fuck, dog. It's crazy. Like, it really is unfortunate that people are so susceptible to these beliefs that they'll do these things. It makes me upset. It truly does make me sad. All right, so I know I've been talking for a long time. For a long time. I've been smoking gas for a long time. Y'all know about that Star Pitchy or whatever his name was. That was a funny ass little deal. That shit was funny. All right, give me a second. Let me open up the line. Let me get everything together so I can listen to you wonderful people. Like I said, we're going to have the 10-minute rule in effect. So that way the people who are waiting on hold, it is not unfair to those individuals who are patiently waiting and want to have a turn to speak their mind on this evening's topics. You know, it is only fair. Give me just excuse me, just a second. Un segundo, por favor. Let's see. But yeah, man, it's a wild deal. It's a wild world out here, man. Mega churches are everywhere. You just don't know how mega they are. And the thing is, like, man, they're everywhere. It's like, and that's the thing, like, we know certain individuals. We're like, oh yeah, you know that guy. This guy has a mega church. That guy has a mega church. But it's some low key mega church. Like, I know that sounds like an oxymoron, right? A low key mega church. Sometimes I be dipping around the city. I'm just like, what the fuck is that? Even these like small, like, you know, come on, man. It's some of these smaller churches. They're making big bank tax free, and I'm not mad about them being tax free. I don't care about that, you know. But be of benefit to the people. Like, be of benefit to the people you say you're serving. And again, there's a lot of these churches that they give out food. They do help people. There's a lot of churches that do a lot of good. Don't get me wrong. There are a lot of churches that do a lot of good, but at the same time, there are a lot of people who exploit the meaning, the idea, or whatever behind it to make it advantageous for themselves. And I just wonder why people don't see it. You see these situations, like even with this what's his name? Pastor Pop the Coochie. You know, people still defend him. No, that ain't him. This is a lie. This is somebody with a similar name. A lot of them they don't pay no taxes. You know, ain't nobody paying no motherfucking tax. They got chain. They got, what's that? Remember the little girl? Oh, he got money. Yeah, these motherfuckers got money. Like, money you'll never know. Why? You didn't really have to report that shit. Come on, these motherfuckers making bank over bank. Like, again, it's a lot of money in these churches, okay? And I'm just going to leave it at that. I mean, we could get goofy and start doing the math. Like, think about it. Joel Osteen is in the Summit. All right, if you're from H-Town, if you're old enough to know, Joel Osteen is in the Summit, okay? Think about that. The Summit. If you don't know what the Summit is, well, that's on you, player. Where's the number at? I got like five. I'm thinking like 5 different things in my head right now. If you want to be like Dan the Man, you go to streamlabs.com/The Den Show if you want to support the channel. If you want to use the crazy, weird mask, you can go to streamlabs.com/The Den Show/mask. No, the Summit used to be where the Houston Rockets played. Okay? The Houston Rockets, the basketball team. That is now a church. The fans used to watch the Rockets go in ball, son. Championship Rockets, son. Ball, son. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the Den this evening?
It's Dan, man.
Dan, the motherfucking man. What's on your mind, Dan? Talk to me, man.
Man, I'll be honest, Honcho. You kind of took the wind from under me, man. You said about everything I was going to say, honestly, about Eddie Long and all that tomfoolery with that speech about him throwing 3 rocks, hadn't thrown him yet, relating David and Goliath. But meanwhile, these allegations are supposed to destroy All he did was pay these guys under the table with the confidentiality agreements, and that money came from the Pope, from his congregation. You had Creflo asking for a multi-million-dollar jet from his congregation, which probably some of the poorest people in that community, that town, that state. You got Joel Osteen sweating bricks on national TV because a bunch of people in his church are not giving tithes. If you see that video, it is one of the funniest shit. His reaction, he's like, oh, no, God, oh, no. I mean, he's just panicking. It's like, where's your money? No, get the fuck out. And it's just like, and Joel Osteen's a different case. I know we're talking about the black church, but I know you mentioned we can talk about whatever.
Yeah.
And then someone mentioned the Creflo Dollar, another pastor dancing on money in the church. I just said, okay, I'm done here. Wow. I give up. We are lost. There's a passage, Hosea 4:6. Yeah, I'm a little scripture myself. My people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, and that's really my main thing. Is like we want to, and people have mentioned it in the comments. We want to be a part of something. We want to be proud of something. But I think the main reason why we allow these pastors all this credit, we give them all this money, is because they put themselves in this position of ultimate power. Like they have a window, window to God. Like, hey, talk to me, I'll talk to God. But meanwhile, people giving they pocketbook money, old ladies and shit. There's actually a woman that was on TBN, Jan Crouch. If y'all ever gone to TBN, she's a woman that had all that big ass purple and green hair, looking like a Dragon Ball Z character and shit. Yeah. Some of y'all remember her. Now there's a video. Actually, I found the video where she's telling an old woman to give God their grocery money, and she's like, she's all nice, like, oh yeah, all the old ladies just give God the grocery money. This is insane. These people are taking advantage of the most sick and firm. These are the people that Jesus was trying to save and defend. The sick, the poor, the lepers. This is what he died for, right? That's what the scripture says. Yeah. And these people are vehemently against it. They are opposite of the scripture. They hoard wealth. They segregate themselves from the community. Matter of fact, recently, the biggest house in Detroit, the most expensive house in Detroit. You know who that's owned by?
Who's that?
That's owned by Bishop Wayne T. Jackson in Detroit. You think that 62 room house is anywhere near the community he preaches to?
Oh, no.
Fuck and no. Fuck that. No, these dudes are crooks. They're criminals. Half of them are child molesters. And half of them are sleeping with your wife or your husband. These dudes get down. Some of these are touching kids. It's infuriating. Yeah. It is that we allow this shit to go on. And like I said, the black church is dead. And you know who killed it? We did. Black people killed the black church by allowing a bunch of disreputables, a bunch of dysfunctional people to run the church. And if you look at the communities that surround these big-ass churches, my point speaks for itself. Because if these people are living up to the word of God and helping the community, you can give some bread and some little roast chickens out from Publix or Winn-Dixie. Sure, you do that every third Sunday. I've been to church. I know how it goes. But all that tax-free money they get, and you think, that's going back to the community? No. Don't lie to yourself. I know there's people here who've been in the church for years, probably switched churches when certain things was going on. But honestly, the nature of Christianity itself, that you're worthless, you're lost without Jesus, and being that none of us have, as far as I know, I've never met Jesus. But this person is this pathway to Jesus. They take advantage of that, and a lot of people are hurt from that. A lot of people suffer due to that because they didn't give like you said, all their damn rent money they gave to Deacon Downlow, and meanwhile he's paying for his mistress's abortion with the goddamn money. Shit like that. And I'm gonna get out for it. I know you got the 10-minute rule. I'm respect that, Honcho. I'm keeping it real, brother.
You got time, man. You got time. You good. You ain't even at the 5-minute mark yet.
I got you. I ain't trying to offend nobody, but it's gonna happen anyway. Yeah. There's another YouTuber. I like linking YouTubers who have a lot of proof more than I can say. His name is his channel is called Dawson Speaks TV, or Dawson and Denise TV. He has 2 channels. Him and another person do that, and he has stories for years about a lot of these pulpit pastors and pimps and just these hustlers. These it's really sad how much stories he's amassed over the years about all these pastors. There's one story, these 3 pastors, I believe in Ohio, Cleveland, Ohio, were taking turns like raping like an underage girl. And and all 3 of them are doing jail now. It's just insane. But that's one story. That was just 3 videos of the hundreds of videos he probably has about all these shysters. And it's really depressing because I don't think that's what Christianity is supposed to be about. We're talking about black church, which is generally Christian. Now, think about like Christianity, the whole nature of being hopeless without God, but just asking for his forgiveness absolves you of all sins. I think that removes a lot of responsibility from people's mentality. It's like, I ask for forgiveness from God, I can do whatever the fuck I want. I don't try to continue to be a better person. I don't keep sleeping with other people's husbands. I don't keep touching little kids. I don't keep robbing people. Because I honestly, like, I've met, like, a lot of people who are supposedly Christian, but they do some of the worst shit. Yeah. I probably met some killers that go to church. Yeah. You know, dudes with face tattoos and shit, but they in church every Sunday smelling like Hennessy and weed. You know, whatever. You got these dudes who's supposedly trying to get away from homosexuality, but they're in the club last night getting the back blown up by another dude, but you're in church next morning. Like, either be gay or be Christian. You can't do both, because Christianity is against homosexuality. That's in the Bible. I mean, I'm just keeping it real, bro. And people get mad. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a shit. It's just, I wish people would just. Okay, so Jesus said, "Follow me, not anyone else." Well, where's Jesus at? Jesus is letting these people speak for him, and they are using his word or warping his word to their own means. So until Jesus himself comes down here and says it, I'm just gonna do my own damn thing. I'm gonna focus on being a better person by myself. I'm not gonna rely on some pastor with goddamn Rolex watches and a goddamn Bentley outside to tell me how to live my life. Because guarantee you, half the shit telling me not to do, he doing. I ain't fucking with that. I ain't fucking with none of that, bro. Yeah. We have to be responsible for ourselves, okay? Now, the doctrine of Christianity itself, I respect a lot of the tenets. Thou shalt not kill, thou shalt not steal, respect your neighbor's belongings. That's simple. That's understand that. That's the golden rule right there. Don't fuck with me, I won't fuck with you. Yeah. But some of this other shit that's veering off into that allows people like Eddie Long. This man was literally dying on the pulpit from probably HIV. Let's be honest here. He was in Atlanta. I'm assuming HIV. And he was just lying to his congregation till the day he died. And they had this big ceremony for him where he was dressed out like a pimp, had red gator shoes and shit. Deion Sanders, all these celebrities were there crying like, dude, it's probably the best thing that happened. This dude died. Eddie Longstroke, yeah. Yeah, that's on YouTube, all his videos and everything. That's tough. And I know this is about, like, I think Christianity in America in general, but specifically the black church. Back in the 60s, we were together. The black church held the black community. Even before then, the 50s, the 40s, it was the focus of the community. And I'd rather say what I want to say about this church, because I watched my mother, who was fervently religious for years, suffer and die alone, and that church didn't do shit for her. The only thing they did do for her, the church she was at, they paid for her funeral. So I give them that, because I went to that funeral. But other than that, they didn't do shit for her. They let her suffer. So you can say I have a personal grudge against religion, and then you're probably right. And guess what? I don't give a shit. It's fine. It's not just my story. It's stories of a lot of people who have been given for years and nothing has happened. Nothing has happened. Only thing that happened was that pastor got rich, he got another church somewhere, and he got 2 mistresses, then had a bunch of abortions, all this other crazy shit. But the community doesn't change. The community is basically the same or worse. Like I told you, that Pastor Jackson in Detroit, or whatever his name was, with the most expensive house in Detroit. No. And just read the comments. And meanwhile, Detroit's a shithole. So I mean, like, what is he doing for Detroit? I mean, what can I say? So I'm going to get off, because that's not 10 minutes yet, but you know, I know I'm not wanted, so no, man, I'm going to dip out. Hey, Honcho, man, do your thing, bro. And y'all on the damn, man, look, just think about who's on that church telling you what to do, man. Look at them. Look how hypocritical they might be. You got to analyze this shit. You can't just let this person hold a book up and say, hey, listen to me, and then give me your money. No, question everything. That's all I'm going to say, Honcho. Have a great night. Dan, y'all do what y'all got to do. Call in. Do your thing. Have a good night, y'all.
All right, Dan, man. Appreciate the call as always, man.
Thank you very much, sir. Have a good day.
All right, you too. Man, I love when Dan calls in, because I know Dan gonna set some shit off, man. Shout out to Dan, man. I love when Dan calls, man. When Dan calls, it goes down. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hey, man, it's Solis.
Solis, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind, Solis?
Nothing, man. I was just, talking about the past year. I got, some really abilities, but to be honest, man, I mean, I think it's only wrong if he, as the person that was filming it, it should be more wrong.
Why so? Why do you think the person who's filming is more wrong?
Because just speaking from experience that I've had with older women and that were in relationships with men or were married. Like I'll tell you like this, I had a relationship with this girl, and it was my cousin's uncle. Well, it's not my cousin, my best friend's uncle's girlfriend, right? And so how this started was we were on a cruise. He invited me to a cruise. I was like, all right, cool. And the first night we got on the cruise, I was out there drinking because overseas I was like 18 at the time, and so you could like legally drink at 18 overseas. So that's what I was doing. I was drinking and stuff. And she was over there. She was right beside me. She said, if I wasn't this and this friend, we would be doing stuff right now. I was like, I don't care. Let's go. And so that happened. And, I had a regret because that was my friend. I had to tell my friend. And so I went ahead and told him. He was cool with me, man. Like, we smoked a blunt. We played Madden. He wasn't mad at me at all. And so after I left, that's when he told his uncle. That's when he told everyone. That was my fault because I had the conscience of telling him. I mean, it was my fault even doing it in the first place, Yeah. But I just think as a person that's going to be doing that stuff, he shouldn't be posting it, especially if this man's got a career and is married. I think it's 50-50. I mean, he's wrong for doing it if he was, because I do see that pastors are of a higher standard to some people, so, people look up to him for whatever reason. But at the same time, I mean, I just think there's some blame needs to go on the female.
I mean, and I can see that, but you don't think of if she's a single woman, not necessarily bound to anybody, and I think there is a bit of responsibility when somebody's in a relationship, and I can't sit here. I'm just talking shit, Sweetberry, and I can't just sit here and act like I've never been on the foul side of things. Sometimes I've crossed the foul line myself, but that I think there is some responsibility. Like if you are the person in the relationship, you're the one who's made a commitment to somebody else. You know what I'm saying? You're the one who's, if you're married, you've made these vows. If you're together, you've spoken whatever words y'all spoken together to make promises or whatever. And I think with him being, like I say, where he is in the community, so if he used his power as a man of the church to seduce, entice, or if he used the money that he's gotten from members of the church to seduce, entice, or gift this woman into provide. Well, I think he was doing the providing of the sexual pleasure, but I'm sure there was more to it than that. I think there's a level of accountability for himself. Now, putting it out there, if you're trying to get some type of fame, or if she's mad because he probably fooled around with more than just her and she's upset about it, that's probably why I got out there. You gotta check her for her motives and intentions also, because again, she probably knew that she knew that this was a married man and she was dealing with it. So if she wasn't getting what she wants, she's trying to exploit. So yeah, they're all crooked, they're all foul. But I think as a person when you're the person that has more to lose, maybe it's a moral thing, but maybe it's just a sensible thing. It's like, hey, I'm the person in this situation where I've built this with, I think he was married 25 years or something like that, or however long he's been married. I built this with my wife. I built this congregation. I have this status in the community. If I go off and fuck off doing God knows what with whoever, just because I can't, control my sexual pleasures, then I have so much more to lose. I mean, you can look at it in a selfish way. So I think that's why I say I think it's almost more foolish maybe than anything else to...
But it's all about... morality, man. That's on someone's morals and what they find as a higher thing. Because you got some people out there that won't do it out of respect to someone, and you got some people, that just will because at the same time they have no morals. And so that's what I think it is too. I think you got to find the right person. It's all about character again. The biggest thing is someone's character, how they would act.
Yeah, not everybody has quality character. You know what I mean? That's the thing. Sometimes, like I say, you can get seduced by the flesh and you see past all that character, and you end up in situations like that gentleman is now. But even aside from that, like what are your thoughts overall with just the church and I mean, maybe I don't know if you've been to black churches or whatever church you've been to. Do you see this as a thing that's kind of rampant through society? Do you have a different view of it? I mean, what are your thoughts overall when it comes to the church in America?
As a young person, man, I'm going to tell you like this. I think churches just in general are dying out. People becoming more spiritual. They're trying to find God themselves instead of going to a church. That's what I just think as a young person. Just me seeing what my peers have done and what myself has done. Instead of going to churches, I think we just try to find the answers more of ourselves. Because, I mean, I've seen, weird vibes with certain pastors that I wouldn't necessarily be around alone or whatever. You know what I mean? Or else, I've seen, I've been to a black church at least once, and I'm already gonna lie, that's just live as fuck. Cause y'all be hype and shit.
That's what I'm saying, and that's why I have questions. It's like almost like you said, it's live, it's entertaining. So people go to be entertained. Are they really there for God? Are they really just for somewhere to
Well,
entertain
it
a
was my
bunch of
first
people?
time, so I was like a little kid, man. So when I had went, my mom was just trying to take me to different churches because, I didn't really like the church she was going to, so I wanted to find something with a little bit more of my demographic of people.
Mm-hmm.
And so she had took me to this one church, and I just like the energy was cool, man. It was just like real hype, and the message they were saying, they were real nice, cool folks.
Yeah.
It's just I never had like the stereotype of being at a black church before until after that. Then I heard like, oh yeah, they're hype, but like that was my first time experience, and I thought it was cool.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Well, that's interesting. Yeah, I know the youth are doing something. I mean, they're finding a lot of things a lot differently these days. I think with having access, like I said, to more information, I think you can make more informed decisions. I think a lot of the older crowd, myself included, you're kind of, when you didn't have access to that, you go with what you know. And if your family's been a certain religion for so long, they kind of push you into that. I think a lot of people make decisions based on that because, well, my mom and my grandma and the great, they've all gone to this church forever, and I don't want to upset them, so I don't want to. There's a lot of people who make decisions based on that instead of what's really true to their own heart. So I think there's a lot of different varieties of things going on with that. But that's funny about the black church being hype. That's funny.
I mean, it was true for that. My first experience for it, I liked it. I thought it was cool.
Okay.
It's just the energy of the people. I think that's real cool at times. And now I don't go there every day, so I can't speak on first-hand experiences and none of that. But from my experience, I thought it was cool.
Okay. That's what's up. All right. Anything else on your mind? Anything else you want to add to that, Solis?
Oh man, I'm good. All right, just have a nice night.
All right, man.
Continuing watching the den.
All righty, man. I appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts, man.
All right, man. Appreciate it.
All right. Shout out to Solis, man. What's the motherfucking deal? Who do we have calling into the den this evening?
What's happening, Inchy? It's Jason S.
Jason S. I've been meaning to talk to you, Jason S. How are things, Jason S? How is life treating you, man?
It's actually it has its ups and downs, but I'm a bit optimistic as of late.
Okay. Well, I hope you're having more ups than downs. So I know, recently you transitioned to a new environment. How is that treating you?
What do you mean?
You started going to, you started to go into a new school. I remember you were kind of lamenting some things from your old school, and kind of wondering about the changes. And I know it's been a couple of months now. So I mean, how's that adventure going for you?
It's been interesting, very, very interesting.
Okay. All right. So what's on your mind, man? What were your thoughts behind the conversation this evening?
So what I wanted to talk about is a scene in Black Jesus, and it's on YouTube. So if you ever want to look it up, but I'm just going to explain it to you.
Okay.
So the scene takes place in a church, and it's around the time where the people start putting their money in the was it like a donation basket or something like that?
The collection plate, yes.
And Jesus sees this, and he realizes that these people are being ripped off by the Reverend Otis. So he tries to tell the people, you can't buy God's blessings, and it doesn't work like that. Reverend notices this, and he hides it by starting to make fun of Black Jesus. Like, says things like, "Says the man who ain't got no blessings," something like that. And just overall making a fool out of him. And but hello?
Yeah, man.
I can't hear you.
I'm just listening.
Okay. I couldn't hear you for a second. I thought I had lost connection. But either way, so Black Jesus keeps trying to tell the people, don't give this dude your money. He's ripping you off. And Reverend tries to hide it, as I said before. I'm repeating myself, by making fun of Black Jesus and making fun of his ankles, how they're super ashy, and he basically Black Jesus gets laughed out of the church. And that's the entire that's the theme in its entirety.
But do you think? I mean, and it's funny, even though I haven't seen it, and I'm laughing because it seems funny. But I almost would believe something like if that was a real scenario, I believe it because people are misguided, and the things that they put to the forefront misguided. And I think there are a lot of people who misconstrue money and material shit as blessings, as opposed to just good things that they have going on in their life. You know what I'm saying? I'm hoping you call in, brother, because I want to hear from you. But and so I think that's the problem that we have nowadays. People put materialistic shit and say, "Oh, well, I got this. This is a blessing." And material things can be nice, but new shit turns to old shit quick. Everybody right now going out getting the iPhone 11 in 9 months is going to be the iPhone 12.2 X3. They're going to be mad about their iPhone. And so people just, they run after this shit. They run in cycles and they get mad and upset, but it's really on them. But I do agree with you that people would not be able to see their blessings because they don't look shiny, because they don't look, they're not in a nice package. It doesn't look a particular kind of way. People miss out on these opportunities all the time. So I'm gonna check it out one day. Like I say, I plan to watch it. I've been planning to watch it for a long time. I just never have.
Yeah, and the worst part about it is the Reverend is ripping them off.
Oh yeah,
he's ripping the people off. He's not giving them God blessings. He's fucking ripping them off. These poor people have been bullshitted by believing that if you give the dude money, he's gonna give you God's blessings. Well, whoop-de-doo, doesn't happen. Doesn't happen.
But I don't even think that's a TV thing. I think that's a thing that happens in reality quite often, though. I think there are a lot of people who are trying to buy their way into heaven. They are trying to hope that they can, pay for all their sins. Hey, that may work with you can buy off individuals, you can buy off people, as far as trying to keep them silent and do things. But that's not going to buy your. You're not going to be. What's the word I'm looking for? Saved. You can't buy your what's the word I'm looking for? God damn it, I know the damn word, I can't think about it right now. Should be saying goddamn, I guess what we're talking about God. That's a whole other thing. But anyway, I just you can't buy your the word like say your afterlife, whatever you want to call it. You can't buy your salvation. Salvation, that's the word I've been looking for. Goddamn, salvation. You cannot buy your salvations. You know what I'm saying? So that's kind of where I'm at. And a lot of people think. Thank you, Morrissey. And that's the problem. Like a lot of people think that you can, and you can't.
Yeah. And there's also a part in the scene where I don't know who he is, but I'm pretty sure Black Jesus knows him. The dude tries to kick Black Jesus, and I guess the dude that he's with out. And Reverend notices this, and he's like, whoa, what's going on here? Who is that? And Black Jesus says something that I knew he would say. Sounds like you're teaching people to worship money. With all due respect, sir, that sounds like some bullshit to me.
Interesting. Like I said, I gotta see what's going on with this Black Jesus, because I've had a certain idea in my mind of how it would be, but maybe they are trying to implement some kind of lessons in between this show, between the nonsense too. So I'm gonna have to check it out. Like I said, I know they brought it back recently, so I'm gonna definitely I'm gonna try to find. I got like a couple of shows. I gotta catch up on I got like 3 or 4 seasons of South Park to catch up on. I'm waiting for Rick and Morty to come back out, and then I'm gonna throw this Black Jesus in the lineup somewhere and try to schedule some time to catch up on it.
Yeah, but that's all I got. And don't be surprised if when you go there, when you go to the scene, if you see the people that are in there, I doubt you'll be surprised.
Okay.
When you watch it,
All right, I would definitely check it out. I'm putting it in my little notes here. All right. Okay. Anything else you got there, Jason?
Nope.
All right. Well, I appreciate you calling in. Like I said, I hope you're having more ups and downs, man. And keep on trucking. I think everything will level out and it'll be all good. I appreciate you calling in.
All right, thank you.
All right, you have a good one. All right. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
It's Mello. How you doing?
Mello, how are you doing? So good to hear your lovely voice this evening. What is on your mind?
Well, I left religion a long time ago. And I can't even begin to explain. Well, I could, but I ain't gonna bore y'all with all that. Anyway, I kind of just wanted to say that it's just sad to see a lot of people losing their money, and it seems like I'm gonna go back to say I think about prayer, right? So people pray all the time for things, for people to feel better, to heal people, for money, for jobs, for all of this stuff, and you pray and you pray and you pray. People still die, people still broke, people still hungry. And it makes you think, like, if you're sitting here praying for all of this and it's not coming to pass, then what is this really all about? It's just things that I think about. And people say to me, well, how can you, say that you don't believe in God, but you wake up every day? I'm like, well, murderers wake up every day. Same scenario. I don't know, Honcho. It's just a lot going on with the church, and it don't seem to be helping people. People are still starving, and it's sad.
And I can agree. And I can understand that. There was a point in time in my life, man. I was going through some things in a major way. I mean, like I was doing, as far as I knew, I was doing everything right to the best of my abilities, and it was just like one thing after another. Even though I followed the program, even though I was doing things the right way, and I knew that it was detrimental to me, I had options to go back to engaging in bad behavior. I made changes, and I started trying to embrace prayer, and it's just like things got worse and worse and worse, and just some things were permanent issues that will never be resolved. And I prayed on these things, and a lot of and it's like nothing came to fruition. Like everything that I asked for, and it wasn't nothing major. One like give me $1 million. It was just small things, just to maintain sanity, health of people that I loved, and then some other things that were going on. And it was just like none of it came to fruition. And when I would pray, I'd actually pray more for opportunities. Like, don't give me something, just give me the opportunity to where I can make things right. That's all I ever asked for, is opportunity. I don't ever want stuff. Just give me the opportunity and let me maximize that. And so nothing happened. And I will not lie to you. I had a real beef. I had a real issue, like something I still deal with to this day. I don't know if I'm overcoming. My thoughts are kind of here and there. I don't know where I am standing right now, but I don't know if there was a song that, what was that old Kevin Gates song, that War with God or something like that. And I used to listen to it, and it's just like, and I just felt like it's like I was so mad. I was just like, man, I know that I'm doing right in every aspect of my life. I know that I wasn't participating in anything foul. I was doing the right things. I was working hard. I was following all the rules, but things just went out. And I've been on that track for a while. But like I said, I'm losing, and I'm losing people I love, and it's just like, why? I see people out here doing all kind of dirt. Motherfuckers who I used to associate with still doing the most out of line shit, and it's like, again, and like I was just talking about the last call, of misconstruing material things with blessings. But it wasn't even about material things. I don't even have to have nice stuff. I just want the basics, and then we'll go from there, the opportunities, and we'll go from there. But it was just like everything that happened, it was like something would go wrong. So I definitely had an issue. Now, things are different. Things are better. Still got ways to go on a lot of stuff, but it's just like now I don't know where I am. Like I'm kind of in this limbo area. Sometimes I think, is there a God? Is there a situation that has changed. I've seen these people who have these more esoteric beliefs who say it's more of the universe putting things in your favor, who look at it from that type of aspect. Like I say, I'm kind of in this. I'm just in a gray area right now. I don't think I still have that same anger, but I sometimes I just don't know exactly what it is, and that's kind of where I'm at. That's kind of where I'm at, you know.
I can definitely relate with you on that because I'm in that gray area too. One thing I have noticed though is the more that I begin to look inward, you know, the more that I see things and the more that I put things out there, you know, when I say that I want something and I put it out there and I begin to believe that that thing is mine, it becomes mine. You know, there have been plenty of times I was down to $2, not knowing how I'm going to get through the rest of the week, and something just tell me, hey, go play a 50-cent number, literally, and I'd hit, like, just off the rip, and I'm like, wow. It seems like life knows what you need when you need it, you know, and there's no book and no game plan. It's just like you're just walking blindly, trying to figure life out. And in that realm, you have religion in your face, you have tradition in your face, you have all of these things, and you try to figure out what works best for you. And all I can say, and all I'm realizing is when you just deal with life truthfully, it happens truthfully. There's a certain thing called balance, you know. No matter how holy you are, you're going to go through things. You're going to go through shit. That's the way life is set up. That's the way it goes. And it's not about what you go through, it's how the hell you get through it, you know, how you handle it, and what you learn from it. When you don't learn something, that thing keeps coming back up until you learn the lesson at hand. I've realized that going through life as well. So, I ain't going to hold up your time either, but I kind of just wanted to chime in because I think, you know, a lot of us have to sometimes step outside of the book. Who, you know, those who are into religion, I don't want to change anybody's perspective. I mean, to each its own. I think everybody has their own truth. But I'm just saying sometimes just step out of it and step within yourself and get in tune with that inner being that you deal with every day, that person you look at in the mirror. Because we are the ones that create our own destiny out here. It's our work and our hard work and perseverance that help us get from point A to point B, and the people around us that genuinely love us. You know, those are the most important things and the best gifts and blessings that we have in life is a peace of mind and love, genuine love. You know, not everybody is for your come up. People will sit around you and don't want nothing for you. I read something today that said, keep your dreams, keep a lot of things that you want for yourself secret, because some people are not wishing the best for you. And when that energy gets out there, you more than likely won't get what you want. And that was a deep thing to me. You know, I got to analyze that a little bit more. But it kind of made sense to me in some aspect. But I wish you all the light through your gray, and I hope that you know, just live your life and live it truthfully and live it to the best that you can. I say that to anyone listening, you know. So with that being said, good night.
Well, Miss Bella, I appreciate you calling and sharing that with us, and I feel like I say I appreciate, you know, just the well wishing, and I'm pretty sure if anybody else is going through, you know, anything like that too, they appreciate that. So thank you for calling.
No problem. Have a good night, Honcho. I'm still tuned in because I love the chat going on out here. I don't know why Trill keep running, but I'm a kiddo.
Yeah, he in there. You know, he in there looking. He looking. Don't worry. We're gonna make it happen.
All right. Have a good one.
All right. You too. Appreciate you calling.
Bye-bye.
All right. Look, Trill, she called you out. So what you gonna do? What you gonna do, Trill? I know you ain't scared. Pull up in the big truck with the. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
Hey, you know it's Belle. I am so going to say this. I am glad that we've got a lot of new people stepping up and calling. I think it's terrific.
I do too. I agree. I definitely agree.
Now that I have to be third or fourth, not so much, but it's okay. But I am glad. The last caller, I think was that Mello?
Yes, ma'am. Yes.
She was pretty spot on about a lot of things. The only thing I want to add as my own personal thing is, and that I learned a long time ago, is somebody told me once, because I was in a great place, as we've all been talking about, and it was one of the most frustrating quotes, but it was one of those that took me a long time to absorb, but it was important, and it said that it's not in our time, it's in God's time. And sometimes when we pray for something, or we think of something, or we want something to happen, sometimes it's the fact that it may not be the plan, God's plan, or it might not be the right time for it to happen. And that, for me, as being human and fallible, makes me frustrated and angry. But it usually works out for whatever reason it needs to. And sometimes we don't always have all the pieces of the puzzle before things need to turn out like they need to. And that's the frustrating part for me, because it was never easy for me to wait when I needed something to happen. Whether it was financial or whether it was spiritual or whatever. So by somebody saying that, sometimes you've just got to, let it be when it happens, that was not the easiest thing for me to take. But I'm learning to kind of adapt to that. Now, speaking of black churches, I won't give any personal kind of stuff. I was a member, the only white member of a black church for about 4 years. I love my pastor to this day. Great guy. Very much Southern church. Small community. However, one of the things that I don't get is, if they're a mega church, why aren't they treated like a corporation and taxed like a corporation?
Interesting.
I know that in the last, I want to say maybe 7 to 10 years, it might even be 5 to 7, I'm not exactly sure, the Goodwill Industries has had their, non-taxable, not-for-profit taxes taken, exemption taken away for being non-for-profit.
Oh.
And it's because they provide services to get people enrolled into schooling, and in some of the communities where they're Goodwills, there's also they have like an unemployment office, and they teach about keyboarding and that kind of thing. So they've lost their nonprofit? Yeah, nonprofit status. I think it's called a 503.
Yeah, 501(c)(3).
Yeah, that one. And so my question is when you've got a certain amount in a mega church, why do they still have their non-for-profit? And if they're for-profit, why am I paying for a corporate person to have a jet when they should be self-sufficient? Why are they begging like a street beggar for a $5 billion plane when, if they're in a corporate tax bracket, it doesn't make any financial common sense?
I think there should be a level of changes, but where do you draw the line between, like small church, or hey, what if I'm just a preacher who's extremely good at what I do? I just bring in the flock, and should I be punished for being good at what I do, or should I be rewarded?
I think it gets to a certain point when you're doing like $1 million above in business, as far as collection per year, even though by the end of the business year you have to bring it down to an operating budget only. I know most people don't know this, but you're still legally allowed to have an operating budget, whether it's $5 million or $10 million or whatever. The only thing you can't have a profit in is what's left over. That's the only thing that makes it nonprofit. I'm sure that there's a few other regulations in there, and I'm not completely quoting all of it. However, with churches, the basis of it is they have an operating fund per year, and whatever's left over as quote-unquote profit has to be gone into the community, or it has to be it has to be written out somewhere. You know, whether it's given to for a ballpark game or a picnic or something within the community. But at the end of the fiscal year, they have to have zero. They have to have zero at the end of their profit margin. Now, if you're a mega church, you're going to have accountants all the time being able to do this for every little dime, nickel and dime that comes in. There definitely should be a point of cutoff. I mean, can you honestly tell me that? Now, so my question is the employees of the church, did they get a nonprofit status with their taxes?
I mean, you know, I guess they have to be covered, you know, paid for their service. I mean, because you look at it the same way with a lot of these things like, you know, the Red Cross, and you see a lot of these quote-unquote charities these celebrities have, where you have this $2,000 dinner and most of the money goes to paying for food and the location and all this stuff, and only a little bit of the money actually goes to the cause. I think because once you start getting into that, and once you start picking on the churches, then you start having to kind of start really getting into those type of things too. And so my thing is, I as much as I'm against it, because I think if you take it against the big churches, and again, like I said, I don't believe all big churches are terrible. I think there are churches that are out there doing great things, and if they can prove that the funds are going to doing great, then I don't think that they should be punished for, you know, having a big congregation. It's more so those with the frivolous purposes, the ones who are, again, exploiting this stuff, some of this lavishness. Again, I'm sure it probably goes under a business vehicle or whatever, with the Bentleys and the Ferraris and all this stuff. I think they had a show, what was it, Preachers of LA, and they all had fancy, you know, supercars and all this other crazy stuff. I think that's where it gets weird. But again, if it's okay at a smaller or lower level, I can't necessarily be opposed to it at a higher level, just because, you know, they're able to fundraise a little bit better. I think it's foul the way a lot of the stuff is going on in it, but I can't necessarily fault them for having the ability to do so.
I can't disagree with you on that. I'm in actually Billy Graham country, part of the country where Billy Graham had his parish and parishioners and all that. And I do see the fact that they do a lot of goodwill. However, a lot of their goodwill is stapled with PR for their particular church as well. So even though it's a double-edged sword, yes, they're doing a lot of good. Their particular church has gone to different outreaches on different things, but on every 18-wheeler is Billy Graham's church all across it. So it's free advertising. So even though they may be sponsoring things, it would be what a regular corporation would use for an advertising fund. You know, I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying that I'm agreeing with some of the other callers tonight by saying, hey, you know, the poorest of poor are putting their last dimes in on the hope of actually the pastors that are asking for the money and not doing it for the reasons that God would intend it to do. Now, this is something that I learned, is that 10% doesn't always mean your fiscal financial 10%. You can put in 10% of labor into a church if you don't have it fiscally to put it in, which means that if you're retired and say you only make $100 a month, that would be $10 worth of tithing. You could go rake the grass at the church, or you could help with the annual spring something or other, or work several hours and put labor in as far as tithing goes. Now, the reason the church gets upset with it is because there's no actual cash coming into their pocket. It doesn't mean that you didn't make a donation of labor. It just means that it wasn't feasible for them to transfer it to something else. But it is equipable to 10%. And a lot of people don't know that.
I don't know how many pastors are gonna be too happy with that. They can't. They can't use that to pay the bills on their mansions and things like that. Look.
Yeah, it doesn't put gas in that jet. I know. But the thing is you're doing what you're capable of doing. And a few years ago, there was a woman who had given to her church for like 35 years. Mm-hmm. In the last 2 months of her life, she was not able to tithe. Do you know they didn't even want to hold her funeral in there?
Yeah.
When she was. We had talked about this quite a while back, but yeah, it's one of the few things that just keeps coming back on me. How can you let this woman who was a lifelong tither, in the last few months of her life, she got so sick that couldn't, and now you're refusing her because she didn't pay her entrance fee? Please, that tells more of it being a theatrical show than it is an organization of love and caring. But that being said, I've also got a really good friend who's extremely religious and says, well, you go to church to fellowship. Well, if I'm fellowshipping with people that don't think in the same lines with me, why do I need to be there? And that's the one thing that's kept me out of church for a long time. When the pastor tells you all the sinners are in church because they're supposed to be giving it up, and I'm not doing that, then why am I going to go to church? These are not accurate statements of reasons to not be to church. I will tell you that because I've been told that more than once. Now, that was my rant. I have a question for you and for the Den folks because I really don't understand. What is speaking in tongues?
That crazy shit. I don't know. That's just the weirdest fucking dumb shit. I hate that fucking shit. Look,
But you being in the honestly, you being in the South, you've heard of it more often than I ever have. I never heard of it. Never heard of that until I came south.
Sound like some shit a motherfucker is finna do before they finna throw a backpack in a building and start running. I hate that fucking crazy speaking in tongues. Maybe some people may believe in it, but the shit just, it doesn't make sense. I've seen so much fraudulence with that shit. It is just, well, like, come on, what? Translate the tongue for me. Where is the, stop it, Shelley. That type of tomfoolery. I've seen it. Yeah, to me, it's just some crazy nonsense. It's really a bunch of buffoonery, in my opinion. Other people may disagree, but it's just a bunch of fucking nonsense. That's all it is. I guess it's entertaining to people. It's part of the show or whatever else is going on. That shit is nonsense.
Well, it doesn't really explain it. I mean, I am in total agreement with you. However, it doesn't explain what the hell it is.
Because it's supposed to be somewhere, I guess, that somebody was, I don't know if it was from, I don't know if it has to do with the Tower of Babel.
Or something?
Yeah, it's supposed to be like, you're supposed to be, you've reached a higher ascension or something, and God has you speaking another language. I don't know if it's connected to the Tower of Babel thing, where everybody was kind of struck and they were all speaking different languages, but it's just some dumb shit people take and run with, like, oh man, I don't know.
Now, the one thing I do understand is falling into the aisles, okay? I get it with, like, the older women and even older than me. Yes, I know y'all call me old, and I'm okay with that. But the older women, even than me, when it becomes so emotional that something has hit them, I get that. I'm okay with that. That's truly a gifted moment, as they say. But what I don't like is when they don't explain to me where the trail of where my money went in order to help their church.
Oh man, yeah, good luck with that.
And I know my pastor said it becomes not your money after you hand it over. It's like, well, I'd like to know the route that it's going on to figure out who's getting the $300 suits and who's getting the soup kitchen for this month. And Yeah, it was fun having me in church being the only white child, let me tell you. but I absolutely love my pastor to this day because no matter what, he's there for me, and he is a really good man. Now, not all of them have been, but I got to say, I still love my pastor. He was a really good person. And the First Lady is awesome, too. Anyway, the point is that there is a huge difference, at least in my opinion, between northern churches and southern churches. And I will say this. All I've ever known, though, is the black churches know how to throw down with the food after a big Sunday blessing and Sunday meeting. We've had that is definitely something I have learned over the years, is that is an accompaniment to going to church, is church food and church gatherings and all that doesn't always get talked about either. So that's kind of really my piece with it. I don't care for the mega churches. I understand why they happen. People want to congregate, and people think that because this person's famous that maybe that'll put more shine on what my issue is. It is what it is. But that's my piece for tonight, and thanks, Honcho. Do you have anything else for me?
No, I think that's all I got for this evening.
Okay. All right, and hopefully we'll have a very busy call night.
All right, well, Miss Bell, the bell has rung. Class is in session. I appreciate you calling and sharing your thoughts with us this evening.
All right, night.
All right, good evening. Female pimp, shut up. What's the motherfucking deal, man? Who we got calling into the den this evening?
What's up, Honcho? It's your boy Broderick.
Broderick, the man of the hour. I've been waiting to talk to you. I know you are a religious man. I would like to hear your thoughts on the topic this evening.
Well, where should I start? I mean, there's a lot of different avenues that I could take on this. I guess I'll start with the black church, since that's the topic of tonight. There's a lot of misconceptions about the black church, and I totally understand how people gather those misconceptions, because there are a lot of black churches out here who have more or less kind of put the black church in a bad light. And the reason for that is a lot of the passed down traditions and activities that have been going on in the black church for ages have passed down, and we have not. We still doing some of the same foolishness, and there is some exploitation in some black churches, but like I said, there's a lot of misconceptions. First of all, not every black church is having, 3 or 4 offerings during service. That is a total lie. That's a total misconception. I grew up in the black church. I'm a member of a black church right now. We have one offering, and I grew up, we only had one offering, and that's it. Now, there are certain times of the year where we have fundraisers for certain things, or whatever the case may be, Hey, the pastor might have a feeling like, hey, we need to help out, brother so-and-so or brother or sister so-and-so, because they're, really going through a tough time right now. And they may ask for a alternate offering, and if you have it to give, these people will be very appreciative. We have those situations. I don't know of a black church that doesn't have a building fund And I mean, these things are necessary because a lot of people have the misconception that the church doesn't need any money. Well, the church is just like any other business, whereas you have to walk in and turn on the lights every time you go. You know, you have plumbing, you have cleaning services, you have food services. I mean, there's a lot of things that you need for the church to be able to operate. Now, my church in particular, I go to the First Black Church in Katy. Our church is 106 years old, and we're in the same original building, and the building is more or less kind of falling down around us. And we don't have a whole lot of members, and we still just have one offering, you know, every Sunday.
Now, is that the place you were telling me about over there by the breakfast place, Snappies?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's it.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, and I mean, it still looks like it's in good shape from the outside, but I mean, it's kind of it's a 106-year-old building, you know. So, I mean, we do the best that we can. You know, we still holding on and everything. And not only that, but my church that I go to in particular, the pastor is really good. He preaches the word every single time he gets up there and preaches. Now, here is where I want to veer off when it comes to that. There are a lot of pastors nowadays who still take a lot of what the Old Testament says and mixes it with the New Testament and sprinkles the world in there. You know, this is where a lot of the black churches go wrong. Because, first of all, we don't live in the Old Testament. We don't live under the Old Testament rules or penalties, but that doesn't mean that we cannot still abide by some of the principles and morals set forth in the Old Testament. We just don't live under the same law. Take, for instance, back in the Old Testament days, if you stole, you might get your hand cut off. You know, if you lied, you might get your tongue cut out. You know, things like that. It was very simple and brutal, but, you know, these were the type of things that would go on when you commit certain sins. You know, no need to even much elaborate on some of the other sins, you know, and some of the penalties for those type of things. But, I mean, you kind of get where I'm going to. We live in an age of grace because Jesus died on the cross so that we would have to suffer those penalties. However, that does not mean that we, you know, are just free to be out here wilding out and everything. And there is a reason for us to go to church, and it's very simple. The reason for us to go to church and why God wants us to go to church and be under a good pastor, a good male leader, pastor, that is specified. He wants us to do this because of what one other caller said. It is all about fellowship. It's about staying around like-minded believers. And what happens is when you are now around like-minded believers, you are more likely to be able to stay on that narrow path that you're supposed to stay on, you know. And for you to be able to stay on that narrow path, you are going to be that shining light for others to see that, hey, this is what Christianity really is. It's not about us all being perfect. It's about us all trying to get to a better, trying to be Christ-like. We'll never be Christ. We'll never be perfect, but we're trying to be Christ-like because we're holy, you know. And once we become saved, we become holy, meaning that doesn't mean that we're perfect. It just means that we're set apart from the world. So we're not supposed to look like the world. We're not supposed to operate like the world. We're supposed to operate how God wants us to operate. No, it doesn't mean that we're going to be perfect. But it means that we are supposed to be striving to perfection as much as we possibly can, as much as we can humanly. You know, so I really hate it when I hear a lot of people say, well, oh, you know, you go into black church and all they want to do is is judge and all of this and that, and I came here to do this, and they just want to look at me funny, and they said the Bible said, "Come as you are." Just because the Bible says, "Come as you are," which is another misconception, that don't mean bring your ass in there in a tight ass dress, some baggy ass clothes, just being as bummy as you possibly can. That's not what that means. Come as you are means come as you are with your heart. You know what I mean? Bring whatever heart you got, bring that in here the way that it is, and we'll show you how God can reshape that heart. That's what that means. So I mean, it bothers me, but I understand it, because the world is the world, and the world does not get it. Fortunately, God is a patient God, and He does give us all a chance to come into the light, and some of us, it takes us a little bit longer than others, but, hey, it's not for me to decide when your time is or whatever the case may be, but, just kind of wanted to clarify a little bit of that kind of stuff. Now, you would mention something else about prayer, so I want to touch on that for just a second. I think one of the other callers alluded to this as well. A lot of people have the misconception about prayer that if I pray and God is who He says He is, that I should get whatever it is that I'm praying for. Well, God doesn't operate that way. First of all, a lot of ways that some of us go wrong when it comes to prayer is we immediately begin our prayer with, God, what can you do for me? God, this is what I need you to do for me. The first thing that we need to do when we pray is acknowledge God and who He is and give Him thanks for all of the things that He has blessed us with. Be thankful that He didn't take us out in our sin and gave us another chance. And also, we need to be thankful for whatever trials and tribulations that are going on in our life. See, a lot of people don't realize the bad things that happen to you. God has a plan. He's the architect. A lot of these bad things are to be able to shape you in the way that He wants to shape you and direct you in a certain way. So when you go in prayer, you have to acknowledge that, hey, even though this just happened to me or whatever, God, I'm going to thank you for whatever it is that you're planning because you know more than I do. Now, you may come to God and say, God, this is what I need. This is what I want. I've been praying for this forever and forever and forever. But God may hear you and He may tell you no. And you may never see that, whatever it is that you're asking for, whatever that is. You may be praying for someone. He may tell you no because He knows better than you do. He knows how your story is going to end. He knows how everyone's story is going to end. I like to compare God to an erector set. You remember what the erector sets are back in the day? With all the different pieces and all that, the little balls and the little, long pins and everything. Trying to figure out God is trying to figure out an erector set. You know what I mean? And how those things go. He's the one that knows how every little piece is gonna fit together and how this cause and effect is gonna have an impact on this person and that person or whatever the case may be. How different people's paths are gonna cross and how they're gonna affect each other. You don't know all of that. So when you pray, the main things that we need to pray for when we need to pray for wisdom. We need to pray for strength. We need to pray for sanity, and we need to pray that we're going to open ourselves up and allow God to lead us. And when we pray that way, then God is more likely to lead you, and you'll know when it's Him leading you, and you'll be more likely to follow in that path. Prayer is a two-way street. You know what I mean? It ain't just let me ask for something, let me get it. So I know that a lot of people would say, well, I prayed and just like you were saying earlier, I seemed like I prayed and things were getting worse. Sometimes you just have to pray, keep praying, pray through the things that are going bad, have faith through the things that are going bad. God wants to see how strong you are. A lot of times he allows you to go through certain things, tragic things that we believe in this life are very tragic type of things he allows us to go through. And a lot of times it's just to test us, to test and see if we are who we're coming to him saying that we are. Because he's no fool, and he knows, he knows the bullshit when he sees one, basically. So this is how I compare God, or how I kind of explain God to people. Let's say you have someone knock on your door and say, "Sir, I'm really a stranger, total stranger. Sir, I'm really down on my luck. My house just got broken into. My wife left me. My kids got shot. I lost my job. I just need a place to crash for a few weeks." Are you going to just let this random person in your house and let them crash?
I don't know about that one.
No. Hell no, you're not. You're not. I don't know any sane person that would. Because, first of all, people crazy. You can't trust nobody. Now, the Bible says that we should, let in a stranger or whatever the case may be. But, God knows people crazy, and we know people crazy too, so we're not going to allow that. But this is just the thing. If you're God and somebody just come knocking on your door telling you all they trials and tribulations and everything, you just expect him to let you in without getting a relationship with him first? That's the same situation. You're not just going to let some random stranger in. So how do you expect God to just let you in as a random stranger or whatever, and you haven't developed a relationship with him? So when you get saved and when you accept Jesus Christ in your life, that's not where it stops. There's more work to be done. Not that work is going to get you in, but it's about building a relationship and staying around like-minded believers so that you can stay on the right path and be an example to others. You know what I mean? And that's how that goes. Now, I wanted to get on the mega churches as well, because that's a real big issue, and that's something that I've been kind of going back and forth with people for many, many years. And honestly, I don't have a problem with a mega church. However, let me clarify. I don't have a problem with a big church that has a large congregation and one pastor leading the congregation. I don't have a problem with that at all if they're preaching the word. Because one of the churches that I follow remotely is a congregation of about, 7,000 to 10,000 people, give or take. But the minister preaches the word, and he really teaches, and I learn a lot from him. But this is his only location. I do have a problem with the pastors who have, 4, 5, and 6 campuses of the same church, and they're pastor over all of these campuses, and whatever the case may be. I don't find that to be productive, because in my opinion, I would rather have one leader over one congregation. That way, if I need to be personal with my pastor, I can be personal with my pastor. I don't feel that you can have a personal relationship with a pastor who's flying a helicopter from one campus to another on Sunday, trying to just pop up and make an appearance. That, to me, is more of a Hollywood type of church, and I don't really get down with that. Now, I can say this right here. There's no evidence in the Bible that says that this type of operation is wrong if they're still preaching the word, preaching the gospel the way the gospel is supposed to be preached. If they're doing that, that's all God requires from his pastors, is to just preach the gospel. So basically, that pastor can stand up there every single Sunday and give you the same exact sermon every single Sunday, basically telling you that Jesus Christ died for your sins, and you should repent. And if you're going to follow Jesus Christ, heaven is going to be your final destination. If you don't follow Jesus Christ, then you're going to put yourself in hell. Basically, in a nutshell, if your pastor gets up there and preaches that particular sermon, just what I just said, every single Sunday, that's all that he's really required to do. And I think that a lot of people think that your pastors are required to do a lot more on Sunday. They're really not. This is their requirement. Now, as far as like the money aspect goes and all of this, when it comes to the mega churches and all that, a lot of these preachers nowadays are writing books. They have a social media following and other side businesses. They get into real estate and stocks and all of that. So you may have a really good preacher who is actually preaching the word, who does have a big house and a Bentley and all of that, and he may not use a cent of that money from the church to get the things that he's getting. He may have his own business interests. I don't have a problem with that. I also think that a lot of people, and like one of your callers just before me said that they want to know where the money goes and all of that. Well, if you want to know where the money goes, then you need to be voted on to the financial committee of that church. Otherwise, it's not your business. Once you give your money to God, it ain't your business where the money goes, because you're giving your money in good faith because you're supposed to be a joyful giver. If you don't give your money joyfully, God said he don't want your money. So if you're just giving 10% just because you think that you're supposed to give 10%, which is a lie, then he doesn't want your money. So I can get right into my next misconception about the tithing. Well, tithing is not a requirement anymore for Christians. And I'm going to tell you what else I have a problem with. On our little yellow envelope at our church, there's a section on that that says tithe. Well, I really think that needs to be removed, because we're not required to give 10% anymore. However, we are required to give an offering. But that offering does not have to be limited to 10%. It could be 1%. It could be 50%. It's whatever God puts on your heart to give that you are able to give. God does not want you to operate in a stupid manner either. So if you have $1,000 and your rent is $800, first of all, that's bad. That's bad business right there in the beginning. Then God don't want you giving, $200 or $100. Give $1, because that makes more sense. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all that you can afford to give. God don't want you broke giving him what he already owned anyway. You see what I'm saying? So we don't have this requirement to tithe. That is a Old Testament thing that had very little to do with money anyway. It was more so about the harvest in a particular time, a particular era. But again, that's one of those traditions that we have carried on in not only the black church, but in the church as a whole, that we really need to start telling the truth about. And there's very few pastors out there that tell the truth when it comes to tithing, But just like we all know, there are some very crooked pastors out there, and there's so many crooked pastors out there that it's hard to really distinguish the crooked from those who are really genuine and really really preaching the word as the word is supposed to be preached. We're not supposed to add or take anything from the word. We're supposed to preach it exactly how it's written. But it's hard to determine that when there's so many sketchy preachers out there, man, and it's so bad to where they don't even care. They just put it right there on Front Street for you, And I know a lot of people talk about Joel Osteen and, Creflo Dollar, what's Reverend Long name comes up all the time. John Gray, a lot of these cats. I mean, they not even hiding what they are. I mean, they putting it right out there for you. You know it. So if you are going to these type of congregations and you're feeding into this, this foolishness, I mean, well, that's on you. Man, there was something else that I had to. Something else you was talking about. You got any questions while I'm thinking about what this? There was something else that you was talking about that I wanted to touch on, that somebody else called and said something about.
We got a couple of questions. A couple of folks have asked in the chat today. I see LaDon. She asked, "Do people ask for hunger to end, or do they just pray for material things?" And there was another question I think she had before that. She said she had a couple of questions for you. Where we at? That was one of them. So asking, why does the word say, asking it shall be given, but when you ask, it ain't?
I think I just explained that. Asking it shall be given with we should say asking it shall be given within reason. If you go and ask God to give you a Ferrari, but you can't afford a Pinto, let's use a little bit of common sense here. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of times when we talk about asking it shall be received, how do you know that you won't get what you're asking for on the other side in heaven? A lot of times what we're asking for, he's not going to give us here in this world, because he knows that if he give you that $1 million that you're asking for, you're going to wild out and you're going to put yourself in hell. So why would God give you something that he knows is not going to benefit you and is going to separate you further from him?
Okay. That must be why I ain't hit the lotto yet, because shit, I'm a wild out. Okay. And then it was something else you were saying, you were talking about the megachurch. Well, what is it that can be done? Do you have an opinion on what can be done? And I would kind of say what you said at the end might be that, but what can be done to change this image that, that a lot of the black churches have, a lot of these mega churches have, because not just the black churches, a lot of the churches too, that they, like you said, they pretty much put themselves out there. Is that on the people if they just continue to go to it? I mean, there's nothing that can be done, or is there a way to kind of push those bad apples out and kind of bring to light people who are actually doing the right thing?
No. Unfortunately, Honcho, it's not going to change. It's going to get worse. Mm-hmm. And I can promise you that. The reason I can promise you that is because it's written in the Word. It tells you exactly. This is why I just be tripping out sometimes when I hear a lot of people, bashing the Word of God and bashing God as a whole, and they'll sit there and quote scripture to you. They'll quote one scripture but won't read the whole chapter. Won't read the whole book. And try to gather meaning about different things. But the Bible tells us that these days were coming. They tell us that even the very elect, and I've seen, and when they say the very elect, that means the true unabashed believers, the pastors that are, have always lived their life on fire for God and on fire for the Word. Those leaders, those elders, those teachers, even they will be fooled, by the systems of the world today. I mean, the Word tells us that it's going to happen. So, I mean, we have to guard ourselves. We have to guard our hearts. We have to constantly stay in prayer and communication and communion with God, so that we can avoid being taken down by these things. But as far as the mega church situation, that it's not going to change. It's going to get worse. The churches are going to get bigger. The churches are going to get more money, and less people are going to be saved. And it's unfortunate that it's going to happen like that. But I mean, just look at the world today. Look at social media. Churches turned into a social media buzz. And one of the worst things that I ever saw hit the church was, when people get on Facebook every Sunday talking about their church flow. Look at my church outfit, look at my church shoes or whatever. And then it gets to a point of where people get on social media talking about, well, hey, I go to this church, and then, this is my pastor over here. They start comparing they church buildings and they pastors and all this kind of stuff, to where it's like a competition on which church you going to every single Sunday. And I mean, that's wild, man. And like I said, it's not going to get better. It's going to get worse. So don't ever expect it to get better. You just have to not, for one thing, don't rely only on what you hear in the church from your pastor on Sunday. If your pastor does not encourage you to read and study the word for yourself, then I would raise an eyebrow. If your pastor is the type of pastor that tells you to listen to what I say and do as I say, run. Your pastor should be encouraging you to trust in the word of God, study it, and study to show yourself approved, to make sure that God knows that, hey, this guy's really trying to learn the things of me. And it takes a lifetime to learn this stuff. If anybody come and tell you, I've studied the Bible, I know it all, run from them as well, because an old pastor can learn something from a young pastor, because the word is written, but it evolves. It's a living word. You know what I mean? So, it ain't gonna get better, Honcho. It's gonna get worse. People just watch out, but and just kind of guard your hearts, but don't guard your heart so much to where you put a wedge between you and God. Because God is still there for you. He wants to be a part of your life. He wants you to be a part of His life. You know what I mean? But it's just you just have to take a chance and trust and believe that everything is going to be okay with you believing in it.
I guess I should cut the mic on so everybody can hear. But he, I guess, with one of his parishioners or whatever it may have been, and he's a married pastor, and so the little video that came out about him. Do you think that what about those types? I mean, do you just kind of lump them in the same category with the other false prophets, the money men and things like that, who are taking advantage of people in their church, men and women, for their own sexual pleasures, for their own vices and things like that?
Well, I don't know the exact story of what this particular pastor did, and I don't even think that I need to know, because there's so much of this going on that you can pretty much put them all in the same bucket. But I will say this. I do believe in my heart that there's a special place in hell for those who assume God's ministry and lead God's people to hell. Because a lot of times, unfortunately, a lot of these kids that get abused by some of these pastors and everything, what normally happens to these people? A lot of times, these people that have been abused, they end up abusing others, and they end up getting into a life of drugs and depression and crime and all of that kind of stuff. They pretty much follow that same path, which unfortunately takes them away from God and leads them straight to that road of ending up in hell. You know what I mean? But the way that they got there is because that there are certain leaders who God has allowed to be in charge over His flock that have turned away from God and have started leading people down the wrong path with some of their leadership tactics and some of their actions. You know what I mean? So, I believe that God has a special place in hell for these type of people, because one person can lead thousands to hell. You know what I mean? just based on his actions, you know, and not keeping the duties that he's supposed to keep. You know, I don't, you know, it's not. I don't tell a whole lot of people this, but I've been called to preach myself. You know, but I got to be honest. I'm so afraid of really accepting that calling and taking that duty. Not because I don't think that I would do a good job, but because it is such an immense amount of pressure and it's such a change that will alter your life that I don't know if I am worthy enough of that. And it's not something that I choose to play with. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? If I take on that duty, I'm going to be 110% committed to that, and I'm not playing with it because I don't play with God like that. Mm-hmm. You know, people that play with God, they don't turn out well. Mm-hmm. You know, and we seeing it right before our eyes, man. A lot of these pastors that have been leading people down the wrong path, what's happening to them? A lot of them are ending up in prison, and a lot of them are dying, mysterious illnesses and stuff like that. You see what's going on? Mm-hmm. People that play with God do not last long, you know. And the same way, people that play with God's name don't last long. This is why I don't advise anybody to, you know, play around with God's name. He said it in his word. Don't mess with my name. You know, my name is serious. Don't mess with my name. And let me clarify this for some of the other people that, you know, will say, well, his name wasn't this or his name wasn't that. That don't matter. It's about where your heart is when you calling him, or you know who you calling him, but you know who you talking about. You know, it have been many times that my mama done tried to call my name. She can call me everything from my uncles to my cousin name, but I know who she's talking to. You know what I mean? So God is not stupid. It doesn't matter if you calling him Jesus, Jesus, Haracha, Sriracha, whatever the case may be. He knows who you're talking to. So, I mean, I would just advise people to not play around with his name, whatever it is that you decide to call him on that day. That's my best advice, because I've never seen things turn out well for somebody that, you know, deliberately disrespects his name. Might not happen today, might not happen tomorrow, but if you're persistent about it, it's going to happen to you. You know, and I mean, that's all I got, Honcho. I think, unless you got anything else that you wanted to ask me.
No, I don't have. So we have a quick question. Somebody asked if your wife is also in the church.
Yes, she is. It's a funny thing. My wife and I, we both grew up kind of in the same type of church. She went to a church with the same name of the church that I went to, you know, in two different cities. Which is ironic, but we go to the same church, but it's been a growing process with both of us, because I had to learn how to recreate myself as a man and learn how to take on leadership role as I'm supposed to, and she has also had to learn how to become a submissive wife in the way that the word wants us to be. You know, because God is a God of order. I mean, he's a God of order and structure, you know. But the world tells us today that God's order and structure of having the man over the woman, not just over the household, but the man is supposed to be over the woman. Well, the women today in the world today will tell you that that's an insult, you know, or that's beneath them. But it's actually to their benefit. And it's not an easy position for the man to be over the woman. It's very hard. It's not an easy job. So that's that.
And I can agree with that. I know certain people have different feelings about that. And to those people, don't get your panties in a bunch. Yeah, I deliberately said panties. You know, it's all love. We all have good intentions.
Donated $20. Honcho, we love you, bro. Yeah. US Den folks will continue to support.
Man, appreciate the love, Marie Lovely. getting us to the goal this evening. Thank you so much. Shout out to Marie Love. Man, Brody, I mean, I think that's all I got. If there's anything else that you'd like to add, man, I think you covered a lot of things, and I appreciate that.
No, man, just I got well wishes for you and everybody in the den. And when I do say that I pray for y'all, that's real talk. I do pray for y'all. Because I mean, whether I know you personally or not, I don't want to see anybody, not know who Jesus Christ is. Really, that's not just me spewing out some stuff. Your life will change. But that's my hope for everybody, and that's all I got.
All right, Roger, man. As always, I appreciate you calling in and sharing your thoughts with us this evening.
For sure.
All right, have a good one.
All right.
Now, I know a lot of y'all ask questions and say, well, why do certain callers go a little bit long? Miss Rashida, you must have been holding on for a minute. But because certain conversations, sometimes people bring a different perspective than the main perspective that we get. And so I like to let those people have a chance to kind of express themselves. And people ask about certain conversations. Some conversations have more of a flow to them, and where maybe I don't necessarily have to guide the conversation so much. Sometimes, and that's what the den is about. Like I said, it's not about me, it's about y'all. It's about people being heard and being able to express themselves. So sometimes people call in and they have something on their mind and they want to get those things out. So it's not really up to me to really guide the conversation because they have a direction in which they want to go. So I kind of let them do their thing. Now, certain people, may have things that they want to say, but sometimes people just need help getting it out. And so that's where I kind of step in more so and guide the conversation that way. But for the most part, if somebody has something on their mind, I usually just let them flow. I don't want to mess up the groove. I don't want to throw a wrinkle in it or anything like that. So that's just kind of how I operate. I saw somebody asking earlier. But usually there is a 10-minute rule. But like I say, if it's something good going, it's a good conversation, a good flow to it, I usually let it go because there's a lot of very interesting things. Know what's the motherfucking deal we got on the line this evening? You there? Hello, what happened to you? Where you at? Where you at?
I was asleep. I ain't know who was asleep.
Then dozed off on us, man. I can't believe. Don't start that nonsense, Shelly. Do not start the shenanigans. We can get that in there. But what's on your mind, Miss Rashida? How you doing this evening?
Oh shit! You done caught me off guard. Shit, I'm left behind. Man, my bad, y'all. Shit, I was just finna get into the good sleep. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. Let me recover a little. Yeah, bro, that was a good call. Good call.
You slept through the. I ain't even finna start. Oh man, I ain't even finna start. So what's on your mind, Miss Rashida? How do you feel? Either about the black church, or we can talk about what is his name, Pastor Wilson, or all these things that are kind of going on. Do you think that there's an issue with the black church? Do you think there's an issue with church in general? I mean, are you religious? Or what are your thoughts on the conversation this evening?
Well, I don't have that much experience or knowledge of the black church as far as being in the black church, because I didn't grow up in a black church. I went to the Catholic church. So, that's that. And I visited the black church, a few times. And it was okay, they did quite a few offerings, and I mean, it was entertaining, good music and everything, So, but it was never nothing that struck me like, oh, I want to do this every Sunday, get up and go to church.
Why not? What was it? Why didn't you? Why didn't you gravitate towards? Was the music not good enough? It didn't have enough bass in it. What was it?
I don't No, Sunday's just a nice day to relax. And plus, you can just turn on TV and still watch stuff. And I ain't got to get up and get dressed and all that kind of stuff. It's a day. It's a day to relax.
Okay.
And then like a lot of people around me don't go to church. I mean, I'm around a lot of heathens, so y'all sitting together.
Well, you got to be leaving the heathens. You can't be out there participating in their shenanigans. They're gonna take you down with them. You're trying to ascend, not descend. The heathens don't got no good intentions for you. You got to kick them to the curb.
Yeah, I might be the one they need to kick to the curb.
I don't believe that. You are an angel. I thought you was working on yourself. Look.
Well, yeah, I guess so. Yeah.
I don't know if you sound too confident there on that on that one. You know what I'm saying? But that's a very interesting deal. So, just when it comes to the church,
that's the pastor now. I had to drop a little tea on you to update you about Pastor Bill.
Yeah, that the tea got spilled.
What happened was he was the lady named Corinthians.
That's
they were making fun of that.
It's a terrible
like Corinthians, First Corinthians, whatever.
Yeah, he got some First Corinthians, all right.
What happened was he had promised her a lead role in the choir. And he didn't come through. Yeah, he didn't come through with it. So she did what she had to do. She released that tape. And hello?
Yes, it looked like she came through.
Oh, well. Yeah.
What kind of shit is that?
So so she dropped that tape, and he and him and his wife and them trying to say that's not him. But from what I see, that's him. That's the pastor.
That's either him or it's what's that buddy from that Tyler Perry show, Mr. Brown, who's the little short nigga with the bald head. It's either one of them two niggas. It's only two niggas that look like that. It's one of them two niggas. But here's my thing, and again, like I say.
But that's what he did though, because he shouldn't have used his power and influence in the church.
But then But I think they both equally foul. I'm not equally foul. I think he's more foul. I think he's like 70% foul. I think he's 70% foul. They both foul as fuck because he's married, he's committed, and then he tried to use that leverage to go down to the buffet. And then she know that this man was buried, so she trying to throw her pussy for a position from the pastor. So she know what she doing is foul too. They both foul, but that's what I'm saying. It's almost like certain. Like I said, because I don't believe every church is bad. I think there are a lot of churches with good intentions that are doing good things. But I think there are a lot of them that are corrupted and people you play these kind of games. And so, again, it's more for entertainment. Why do you want a position to be the head person in the choir? Because you want the fucking attention of being the head motherfucker in the choir. You probably can't sing, you know what I'm saying? But she figured out I'll throw this pussy on him and then I'm going to be able to get a position, even though, I can't hit the high note, you know what I'm saying? I can't get the solo or whatever the fuck it is that be going on. And again, like I say, so he's extremely foul. She's foul, but he's extremely foul because of his commitments, because of him being the leader, because of what he knows that he has to risk in playing that. They're trying to make that power play. But she tried to make a little bitty power play of herself too. And she said, hey, look, if you can't you need to go take some singing lessons, if that's the case, instead of trying to prostitute your way to the head of the choir. You don't what they call it? I don't know what they call it. Like first chair? No, that's like the instruments. What do they call the main choir singer? I don't know what they call it. Like I said,
I would just call it like the lead singer or something. I don't know.
Yeah, so she trying to.
But it isn't that serious to have to let him perform on you to get a position.
I'm hoping that he got more than that. But that's what I'm saying. So if he ain't realized she had him with the okie doke, that's his fault for being fooly. He with the fooly wang too. If he doing all the work, so I hope he got more than that. That's all I'm saying. If that's all he got to give her a position, like that's a lose-lose.
I think he's from that position. So most of us people, I think he ate more than just food. I think he ate up a lot more coochie up in that church.
I hope he was doing more than eating some coochie. I hope he got something out of it. Shit, you putting in the work and offered up. You ain't getting there's no win for you. You doing double duty. That's terrible shit. But my thing is this, man.
But some men like to eat the yum.
Yeah, but then you know some people like the feeling to be reciprocated. But that shit right there is, you know.
Maybe he don't like to be reciprocated. Maybe he like to be the giver and not the receiver.
Man, I don't know, man. Like I say, it's
power in the tongue. It's power in the tongue.
Stop the nonsense shit. Boy, Sweetberry. If y'all seen the picture Sweetberry just sent me, people have gone crazy. That's what I'm saying. But this is a society that we live in, and people will jump on it immediately. So now they got eat it like a pastor shirts. First liquidations or some nonsense. Like, come on, stop the nonsense. That's going on. Like I say, people will capitalize on anything. That's the beauty of capitalism. Bye. See, I brought that full circle for y'all from the other day's conversation. But it's just, it's crazy. It's crazy that this is where we are. And but you know, again, like I say. But it's like, what kind of value? But I think the whole choir thing, though, is because there has to be, like, especially in the congregation, I'm assuming in the black church, again, I talk about how a lot of people view it as entertainment. It's like another subculture. It's another, you know, a place where people get to hang out, a club, or not like a nightclub, but like a social club or whatever. And so, you know, if I'm the soloist, I saw somebody say soloist, or you know, one of the head singers, or whatever you call them. And you know, that's social status within the church, and so that's what I'm saying. So she giving up the yah, you know, to get in the choir. You know what I'm saying? So again, for more social status, and that's the crazy shit, man. That's the crazy shit about it. So,
but you know what? It kind of do remind you of Brown and what's the name? Mr. Brown in the door, but she's just not the daughter though. So the lady kind of looks made for her.
Yeah. All right, but I ain't seen they got her actual picture out there too.
Yeah, they got her picture up there too. Her name Corinthia.
Man, she finna become a porn star. I'm telling you, she put herself out there. If she put her pussy out there, what makes her different from any of these chicks that's putting it on the gram, that's doing it on Twitter, that's doing it on Pornhub? If you putting yourself out there willingly, you know, motherfuckers know it's you. You putting it out there because you want people to know. Shit, you can put yourself out there. You know what I'm saying?
Right. She's trying to embarrass him. She's embarrassing herself too.
Yeah, so she might as well go ahead and you know, they might as well do one of them porno parodies that she might as well go ahead and be in there and get paid for it. Because you put yourself out there you put yourself out there just like any one of these regular freaks who get paid for, you know, for being out there. So it is what it is. So, you know, might as well. I mean, why not?
I wonder how they say it's gonna be on Sunday. I wonder if she's gonna preach. She's gonna be there. I really wonder.
It's going down. She gonna be in that thing. That's more attention. People love attention these days. She ain't gonna turn down no attention. She gonna go get that. Shit, that's free attention. She gonna go get that. She ain't gonna let that free drama, attention, and conversation people gonna be talking about. It's gonna be the most attention she ever had in her life. You know, so.
She's gonna have to have a little more proof because he's saying it's not him. So maybe he got to text messages or something. So you have to come with all the receipts.
It'll be really interesting to see how that conversation went. I don't think I need to know though. Well, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't even want to see the video. I actually saw it on accident. Somebody put it on Twitter. I'm going down the feed and I'm like, what the fuck? This is exactly what the fuck y'all talking about. And I was mad. I was like, y'all out of line. So it is what it is. But you know, like I said, it's craziness. But it's funny as shit because I'm wondering how many more people gonna pull up to that church. How many new members will he have?
Trust me, if I was in Texas, I'd be pulling up on Sunday.
No, don't say that.
Yeah.
That's tough. You're gonna have all kind of women trying to audition for the choir. That's terrible, man.
It's been a lot of women inboxing him. He ain't been answering though. On Facebook, they've been inboxing him.
I hope not. But I mean, how bad is it that women? I don't know. They're gonna be making all kind of donations to the church. I gotta pardon me.
To be honest, I want to slide in his inbox too, but I say, Rashida, don't do that.
You're supposed to be trying to. You're supposed to be trying to. You're supposed to be trying to work on yourself, not get yourself worked on.
Yeah, you do that to me and you ask for forgiveness. She already out there.
Now y'all over there beefing over the mouth. I ain't even finna get into all that. I'm not gonna say nothing. Y'all, we are living in the days of a trip. I agree, brother. Women in the church or a trip. Shelly say you couldn't get your. He ain't got the right tool set to get your money, Shelly. That's tough. You can get caught up in the snapper. Let me stop. Okay. All right. Anything else that's on your mind there, Miss Rashida? What else you thinking about this?
I want to touch on a few things I heard people say now. When it comes to the non-profit and the mega churches and all of that, if you can start making one of the page, then you're gonna open the door to making all kind of charities pay this non-profit and making over $1 million. You can't just pick and choose because it's a mega church they should pay. You know, so I think they don't even want to open that door to, you know what I'm saying. So that's probably why they just leave the churches alone. It's already set up.
But what's interesting, have you seen some of these Democrats talking about the Democratic candidates saying that if these churches don't accept, like some of these churches, they don't accept homosexuality or they don't, embrace that, talking about if they don't embrace it, that they want to make them pay taxes. So they would lose their tax exempt status if they don't accept, like homosexuality and stuff like LGBT stuff like that.
Oh wow! Wow. Well, maybe that's why the Christians are more accepting of homosexuality.
But do you think some of these people will flip the script?
They don't want to lose their tax exempt status.
Okay. And that's what I think a lot of people need to pay attention, because if something like that was to happen, if everything was to fall in line, and that was the case, that your church is going to lose tax exempt status if they don't embrace and accept, and if your preacher or whoever you've been following changes their tune, that lets you know what they really about, So
exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy. And I believe.
I also want to say that you can't blame the churches for taking the poor people money. They can't take nothing you don't give. That's on you.
I agree, Shelly. Yeah, that's true. I mean, they can't, but they'll kick you out though. What was it? Oh, because somebody mentioned about the old.
You can watch church at home.
but they gonna tell you to call in. If you at home watching this, you better call in to this. Call out 1-800 number. They got a 1-900. They hit you like the porno numbers, and you got to call in. They just gonna tax you for listening in about a minute.
Yeah, when I watch the church at home, I just scroll right on that.
But like, what was it? Because it was another situation. I kept in. Oh, this is what I wanted to say from earlier when we were talking about some of these crazy outcomes. Who was the one? And I think, Roger, you may know her name because I think she's here in Houston. One of those. Her husband's like a big pastor. Not the Olsteins. It's another older couple. But she was telling people not to go to like chemo, not to go to like if they had cancer and all the time. Well, would you rather be sitting in chemo dealing with that painful treatment, or would you rather be in church getting the word of God and getting healed by the word of God? Like telling people to do some wild stuff, you know what I'm saying? And so that's why I say, like, things like that, that's where it gets dangerous. But it's people who are listening to that and believe in that, you know what I'm saying? And like I say, it gets to a point, I can't remember her name. I keep want to say Gloria or something, but I don't know if that's her name or whatever. But like I say, it's just certain things that people are saying, and they saying these things, and it's like, come on, this is dangerous rhetoric for you to just be out here saying this nonsense and taking money. And like I say, when you have people who are in a fragile state of mind, they gonna eat this type of shit up, and that's crazy stuff. What is the name? Oh, I can't think of it now. I keep wanting to say Gloria something, but I might be way off. But again, like I say, it's a crazy situation, man. That some of the power that these people have and that they have over people's minds, it's sad.
But see, they asking you to put your faith in God to help you pay your bills, but they asking you for donations to pay their bills. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So how that work? Why they don't ask God for the blessings to pay their bills? They know in their mind they need actual donations to pay their bills, but they want you to walk on faith, and they ain't even walking on faith. That's just some hypocritical shit right there.
Yeah. So,
And I don't even think people thinking about that. They're not using God money to pay for their bills. They using the donations to the church to pay for their bills and their lifestyle.
and I think that's quite dangerous.
And I don't see nothing wrong with them getting donations because they supposed to get donations for the church. But when you live in that far above the means of the people that you taking money from, that's why I have a problem.
No.
Because it's like you the one receiving all the benefits, and then you got them out there, you ain't doing nothing for them.
Yeah, I agree. And then that's the part that
What they need to do is start bringing their bills to the church and putting them in the collection.
But that's the other thing I want to talk about too. They have churches out there that check people's bills, that tell you to bring all your bills to become a member of that church. They will check all of your bills. They will check your checks and your bills and tell you how much you need to be donating to.
No, I'm talking about bringing the bills so they can pay them.
Oh
That's
yeah,
what I'm
but no,
about.
they don't want to do that. But okay, let me see what happened. Why this didn't show up? Let me see what's going on here. Let me try to put this test thing on. I'm trying to see why it didn't show up at all. I don't know why this particular one is not working. Oh, that's actually, you know what? You might be on something there, 335. Let me swap this up. Let me see what's happening here. I didn't fool the dilly dally. I didn't think about that. All right, let's check it out now. But yeah, that's what I say. It's just crazy the behavior that is allowed to persist, to go on. I don't know if I'm still clicking it. They ain't doing nothing. Let me see here. Let me check. Appreciate the love. Let me figure it out. Okay. Was there anything else that is on your mind, Miss Reed? Watching pastors do the dirty deed.
No, I'll be glad when they strike over though for these.
Oh yeah, we is supposed to talk about that strike that y'all dealing with. How long has the strike been going on?
Since Thursday.
Oh, okay, it's only been a couple of days. Is there an expected time or length of time that they expect this thing to last here?
They don't know because the main sticking point is really the salary, and they want a nurse in every school, and they want smaller class sizes. So we'll see. But they're willing to get in the raise, but they want to do it over 5 years and not 3 years like the teachers want.
Okay. I think that was the case. I think the dilly-dally was off. Let me see something here. Okay, so they went over 3 years, and the other people are talking about 5? Is that what you were saying?
The teacher, yeah, the city wants to give it over 5 years, and the teachers want it over 3 years. A 15% raise.
Okay.
So some teachers will be making about like $100,000.
Okay.
Yeah, Chicago public teachers are some of the highest paid teachers.
But wait. So they mad because they want 100? What? What side of Chicago is getting paid this money?
The average salary right now is $71,000, and with the raise, some of them will be making $101,000, something like that. They said.
Yeah, damn all that. Look, that kid better come out that school with a damn 4-year degree, 100,000 for a public school teacher. Shit.
But yeah, that's what's gonna happen. The expectations for the students are gonna increase. You know, if you ask for that kind of money, you're gonna have to be producing more results.
Yeah, I agree. Um, shit, 335. I owe you another mask here, so whichever one is of your choosing, I got you since it didn't show up on the first one. Yeah, there ain't no way. Ain't no way, man. That shit there. But teachers around the country complain about what they getting, 50, maybe 60 if they lucky. Shit, they over there getting 100K trying to get some more. I don't know. Chicago's a dangerous place, man. Chicago is a very, very dangerous place. So that's tough. Maybe they get some extra kind of bonus. Okay.
My little nephew, he been getting on my nerves though. Yeah, he think he's funny. He was asking my mother, did she know Harriet Tubman?
No, the hot dog man was terrible. It was a terrible mask brand of 335. Oh, Harriet Tubman. Y'all look out, fucks with y'all, man.
He was wild. And he asked her, did she know Rosa Parks, and did she sit by her on the bus? And you know, he been taking his knowledge of history and trying to be funny with it.
That's tough, man. That's tough.
He asked her how many slaves did she help free and everything. It's been terrible. It's been terrible.
Get off, man.
And then he has the nerve to ask me that I ever worked in the cotton field and everything. See, he really thinks he's funny. I'm gonna hurt him.
How'd he been lurking? Don't hurt him. Man, let the little nigga make they young and impressionable. You know that shows that he's learning about history. Maybe not in the right way, but he's learned about history.
Well, I don't know why he was roasting her, but I was wrong for laughing, but the shit was funny. You know, I don't know. Until he tried to get on me, then it didn't become funny then.
Okay.
But I think that's like a new thing these young people are doing, using history to try to roast they older people in their family.
Man, the little one tried to tell me, I could roast you. I was like, boy, that'll be the last. That's the last mistake you ever want to, because you soft as fucking. You charming. That ain't what you want to do. Cause I ain't gonna play with you. I'm gonna take it to the extreme. Like I don't really be playing the game. I'll be cool, and I don't really be going in too much. But she's like, because she got to this new school, and I guess the little kids talking about I can roast. And we was somewhere eating. Yeah, I could roast you. I said, come on, I'm gonna ruin your life. You are gonna be crying yourself to sleep tonight. Don't do it. Don't do it to yourself. So I'm gonna let you know exactly how I feel. Because the lesson is gonna be: don't say nothing to nobody you don't want to deal with. Because when it comes to roasting, there is no love. There is no love for anybody. I don't care if we're related, affiliated, or any of that stuff. Look, it's all no holes barred. But so she decided to decline my offer, and decided she.
I think that was very wise.
Yeah, that's probably the best decision she's made in a long time, because we're going to go all the way in. Make you think twice about doing it again. So there's that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I don't have anything else unless you have any more questions, buddy.
No, I don't think I do. I think that's all I got for this evening. You know, don't get off the line and go watch the video. You know what I'm saying? You know,
it's gonna be a new video out sooner or later about something.
Don't tell me about it.
Why not? I have to keep you updated on everything going on.
I don't want to know nothing about that.
But I do have the videos if you want me to send them to you.
Nah, I'm cool on that. You know, yeah, there's no benefit to me.
Are you sure?
I'm fine. There's of no benefit to me. So.
I think it kind of is.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you providing information. You have to know about the subject you're talking about, right?
I mean, that's old news. So I'm good on that. You know, look, y'all good. Y'all enjoy that. You know, y'all make sure y'all make y'all way down to Bible Life Church or whatever it's called in Texarkana Tx. You know, get y'all a ticket. Get flued. Y'all can get flued out to the church. You know, I'm sure he flew y'all out, and you know, y'all can go do what y'all do. But that's a bit. I don't want to hear it. That's a bad bitch, Rashida. I'm gonna leave you and your videos to be, but I appreciate you calling in this evening.
Okay, and good night, everybody. I didn't shout nobody out this time. I forget because I had woke up sleep, you know. So.
That's a bad bitch, Rashida. I appreciate you calling.
All right. Take care.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, now there's two people I said I would call before we ended, and I want to make sure that I give you guys that opportunity. Miss Shelley, do you still want to call in and speak your piece? Because you have been stating that you know you wanted to address something, so I wanted to give you that opportunity, man. You know what I'm saying? So you can't be like, hey, Honcho, just be biased to everybody, but the Carolina people, you know, because Carolina sucks, and so I don't want to, you know, I don't want to be accused of being biased. So I told Miss Snapper and Man Up that I would call him back. Okay. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm supposed to be giving Mixer Crew some love, and I'll still give y'all some Mixer Crew love this evening, so don't worry. If you in the Mixer Crew, I'll be up to some shenanigans at least for a little bit. Let me see. What is your area code start with? Just the first three, so because usually it might be in the missed call thing, and I'll just call you back. And I will call Miss Shelley. Or you can actually call. It'll go straight to, it'll hang up. It won't let you like through, but then I can call back. Okay, I got you. I see you right there. Bet. Give me 1 second. I'm going to eat a chip off the screen. Let me give y'all, what's that mukbang? Give y'all some ASMR kettle chip eating. See, this is that's a variety channel. I do all kind of shit. I talk shit. I listen to y'all talk shit. I listen to y'all be perverted. I give y'all mukbang. I give y'all chip eating ASMR. All that shit. Variety, baby. They calling me. What?
Hello.
Okay. Hello, Miss Shelley. How are you this evening?
Hey, Honcho.
It's been a long time.
Hello, dear.
Yes, it's been a while since we've spoken, Miss Shelley, and the last time.
I know. Well, you know what? I had a new job, and I couldn't be on social media.
Oh.
That job wouldn't let me be on social. Yeah, so I don't work there anymore.
Oh, you was a double agent. That's what you was working for the government. That's what that was. Oh, okay.
Don't tell everybody. Don't tell everybody.
The den has been compromised, y'all. But it's good. I'm glad that you're back. Like I said, we miss Miss Shelley. I was wondering what happened to you. You know, I thought you was just afraid of them Texans, even though y'all, and whatever. Anyway.
Well, kind of. But we beat you all.
Yeah, it was an unfortunate incident that took place, and yes, y'all got the win. But you said,
yeah, our backup quarterback tore y'all up.
Yeah, it happened. I mean, you got to live with it. But
you need to sign that L. You still need to sign that L.
I ain't get it. You know, you got to send it through FedEx. It might get lost. But what's on your mind? So you said you had some thoughts with some of the conversations that were taking place this evening. And I'd like to know what, you know, what your thoughts were.
Oh, well, I have 4 aunts that married ministers. I'm kind of hoarse, so I hope you can understand. I had 4 aunts that married ministers, and they were always fussing and cussing and fighting. And then when they go to church, they act like they angels and stuff. So I I ain't gonna say I always been in the church. I was introduced in the church for a long time. I was a young girl. So I don't like to say religious. I just say I'm spiritual, because religious is like trying to do a program or something when it's not what's in your heart or whatever. That's how I feel. But what I was trying to say is that I had a girlfriend that was a pastor's kid, and she told me that she was raped 3 times in the church, because her parents would go to these conventions, and I've seen this too. Not the rape part, but like the pastors be drinking and drunk and all kind of stuff. Then sometimes they got to drink coffee so they'll get straight. But it's some terrible church folk out here. No joke. So, and then I was about to say too, it's really an exploitation of women. They want them to wear dresses, then the women be trying to wear the waist cinchers and the butt sticking out and got heels. So, they want to turn the man on. So, it's just the same stuff on the street practically is what they're doing in there. And a lot of them are kind of like whoremongers or know how to do because they've been out and, been out in the street doing it. Then they want to change their life around, but they still got that skill, So you have a lot of that going on. And then as for that pastor, that's so disgusting. And if I was his wife, it's embarrassing. But she know what kind of pastor husband she got, just like my aunt knew what kind of pastor husband they had. But it's just disgusting. But I thought they were separated. But that doesn't mean anything. But listen, that old pastor, he looked like he probably a little cheap pastor, because I think if he would have paid more money, if he would have paid a little more money for the hotel, he would pay a little more money for the hotel, she probably would have kept her mouth shut, So, both of them terrible. Both of them. I wouldn't want to expose my stuff. She don't mind exposing her stuff for everybody to see.
Yeah. So, what does that say about her? I mean, they both, like I say, they both foul. But what does that say about her character? If she willing, because she didn't get what she wanted, she just wanted to put herself out on Front Street.
Thank you. And he wasn't that good. I mean,
that's the first. Everybody else said he was. Everybody else said he was a champ. You the one said he wasn't that good. What was he doing wrong? What's happening? What's going on? Hold on.
Okay. For an old man, he probably was all right, but he keep jumping from different parts. He didn't stay on a particular area long enough for me, for what I'm saying.
You got to focus.
He was too quick, I should say. He jumped this and went there and did out, he was just disgusting. Then he probably had to hurry up anyway, because he probably, wanted to hurry up in school or whatever. But it's just disgusting. And then the church has really exploited women. Women have really been exploited in the church, So, but it's just a sad thing. But a lot of women been raped. I guess men too, and all kind of stuff. It's bad.
But do you think that's the thing that just kind of happens when you around people who are put in a position of power? I mean, because you've heard you talk about Me Too and situations that happen in business, in the corporate world. You hear about it in, like say, in the church where men are put in positions of power. Do you think that's like a thing that just happens, or do you think it happens more so in the church than other places?
It might be. Oh, it's all over. But I was about to say more so in the church, but it's just, okay, I hate to say this, but women like power and they like money. And unfortunately, it's just one man in there you probably want to get to, and that's the pastor. All them other men in there you can get hold to, but you don't want them. It's like, who wants a position on the choir? You know what I'm saying? Buy me a car or something. Why I want to be on the choir for? But she should probably want to travel with him and all kind of stuff. Both of them are terrible. And then you put your stuff out there.
It might be low self-esteem. That's why she put herself out there. She want a low position. She just trying to be on the choir. She need better goals in her life. That's what it is.
Goals? She could have got paid. She could have got. Well, he ain't had no. His church looked small anyway. If that's the true church I saw, had paneling. Church. He probably wasn't making that much money in his church. It ain't no mega getting paid with no mega church. Because Pastor Gray, from what was said, Pastor Gray said his lady the four seasons.
Man,
So,
I've never heard somebody get talked down because their church too small. That's the first.
if you're gonna put yourself out there, why put it out for a poor church? Put it out there for a mega church and get you some money. And you don't even got to go. You don't even have to post no picture because you're gonna be, taken care of. If you're gonna do it,
That's tough.
I saw that old video.
Get you a mega church, Pastor. I don't know. Well, you got to start somewhere. You got to start somewhere. You may be trying to work his way up. He might have a new church getting built somewhere else.
Now Pastor Gray buying a Lamborghini for his wife. You know that's the one to mess with. Man, please, if you gonna mess with somebody. So I think it's just a power thing, and a lot of women like money and power, but in these churches it's just really one man, and they think they think they can pull them or whatever. It ain't about all that crazy stuff. Or leave men alone. And then a lot of them, they got more than one anyway. So that's all I really want to say.
Okay.
But if you're gonna do it and be filming yourself, make some money. Don't be. She just messed up her stuff for nothing because that old man probably would have kept giving her money. Or he just got to share himself around. He's really sharing himself around. So.
So she messed herself up.
Right. To me, like I say, it's embarrassing. First of all, she exposing herself. She exposing everybody who she let mess with her. And then, like I said, his church ain't that big. What was there to get out of that situation? What was she? What did she?
She want that solo. She want that solo spot, man.
Well, she would never get the solo spot. The solo spot was taken by the man's wife. Because he's married. But it didn't matter. She probably would get more stuff out of him than she would a single man. But what she got? Somebody that was messing over her ain't got nothing. That's the bad thing. And a married man on top. I would be so embarrassed. The wife. You know what kind of a wife know what kind of husband she got. Yeah. He letting everybody see.
She ain't even tripping. She had it when he was younger, when he was more active. See, now he too old to don't. It ain't don't hit the same.
No, but you know what though? He probably doing the wife and everybody else too. So.
They all one congregation now.
Oh my God, that's so nasty. It's not nasty, but it's nasty when other people know you're nasty.
You gotta keep your nasty on the low.
Especially to a preacher, everybody should keep this stuff private. But no, he got the right to do whatever he want to do. I just wouldn't want to be the sorry female to be the one doing it. God, disgusting. And I think they say she's the friend of that's the mama daughter friend or something. His wife friend or some stuff. So she been around him.
Oh yeah, she's super foul. She was just lurking around the wife just to get access. She foul.
And somebody that he ain't had to give much money to.
That's tough.
That's terrible. But that's all I had to say.
Okay.
That's all I had to say. But women are exploited in the church, I believe.
Okay.
Yeah.
I wouldn't. I don't doubt.
And there are gay people that go to church. That was saying they didn't think. They are going to the church building. I don't know what they're going in there for. A lot of them are ministers of music. And some of them like me, but no, gay people love God too. I'm not, saying nothing bad about that. But, gay people go to church too. So that's all I got to say.
All right. Well, Miss Shelley, like I said, it's good to hear from you, and I'm glad you're back active with us. Don't let the people keep you from us now. Hey, once in the den, y'all always.
I had to leave. Yeah, they were too strict. So I had to leave that alone. I had to leave that alone. Keep pounding.
Oh, don't do it. Don't do it. I can't be mad. Y'all won it fair and square, so I ain't even gonna complain.
Keep pounding. But I don't know what we're going to do against the 49ers. So
y'all gonna lose.
I'm
I hope y'all lose.
You don't.
I want all the losses. Everything bad and only bad to happen to y'all. What?
Oh, don't say that. But I'm surprised y'all beat Kansas City. But that was good.
Yeah, it was cool. We got to see what happened this week when it really mattered. So we'll find out.
Mm.
All right, well, Miss Shelley, I appreciate it. And thank you for answering the call.
Oh.
And it's good to hear from you. It really is.
Oh, thank you. And thank you for calling me back.
All right. I wasn't going to leave you hanging.
You know this is a subject. This is a subject I like to talk about.
All right, I'm going to make sure we get a couple more of those in the next few days so we can hear from you.
All right.
All right, Miss Shelley. You have a good evening. All right.
You too. Bye-bye.
We should be live in the sauce tomorrow. I do believe. It's just been timing throughout the week, and I've just been behind schedules. I've been supposed to drop 3 or 4 fucking videos, and I'm just way behind the sauce. I got a bunch of shit I got to catch up on. But I can't leave my den folk hanging. Man Up, you still in the mix, Man Up? If Man Up's in the mix, I'll take that. We'll make that the last call, and then probably wrap it up after that. Yes, I am also surprised that we beat, yes, late. And late for the fallout. And like I said, shout out to Late to the Fallout. I'm glad if this is your first time joining us in the den, I'm glad that you're here. Again, we're all friends in the den, and whether we agree or disagree, we all here to just have good conversation. Yeah, I've been tripping on the streams the last 2 weeks. It's just like I say, just timing and there's been some other things going on right about that time frame. But like I said, we're gonna be taking the little one out of daycare and stuff for a few reasons, and so now she'll be coming home immediately after school, and that time slot will be a little bit more freed up, and so we won't have to worry about that. We'll be live tomorrow. Depends how the Astros play tomorrow, don't they? That's gonna be interesting to see how that pans out. We'll see how everything goes, because it was supposed to have a special guest tomorrow, so but it depends. So we'll see how it is. But like I said, I got a bunch of videos I got to drop. Make sure y'all are watching South Sports TV too, man. So show some love to Hector. Hector's been putting in a lot of work. Super shout out to Hector, man, because he's been holding down with the Dynamo videos. I've definitely been learning a lot editing those videos and just kind of getting some Dynamo game. And so if you are a Houston Dynamo fan or an MLS soccer fan, period, definitely check those out. But Hector's been putting in a lot of work, and I definitely appreciate him for that. Okay, you still there, man? All right, bet. I'm finna hit you right now, and then we'll make that the last call. And then after this, we will get some mixed crew a little bit later on.
Joe.
Man up, what's the motherfucking deal, man? What's on your mind, Mr. Man Up? How you feeling about this topic this evening?
Man, first of all, I want to say, man, I appreciate you taking my call, man. I know you couldn't get you some rest, do your thing, man, but once again, I really, really appreciate it.
All good.
But I wanted to talk about, I came in like when Broderick, I think that was Broderick that was talking, that you said he was religious.
Yes.
I was in the den earlier, but I wasn't really paying attention because I was doing some things. But I started paying attention when he was talking, and he spoke the truth about a lot of things. I'm trying to turn my TV down because I don't want no echo here. But he spoke the truth about a lot of things. But there is a lot of misconceptions about church. And then I know a lot of people like to say how the Bible and churches and Christian people, folks are hypocrites, which can be true, because I know it does say in the Bible, bring those into my house, but then it also says, I put before you good and evil, you choose. So what I'm saying about that is this here. Sometimes, man, people don't understand that what he's saying is, God do want his message to get out, but he's not going to force it on you. That's why he said, I'm putting it before you. I'm going to let you make the decision. Because if you make it make the decision yourself, then it's pure from the heart, and it's something that you want to do yourself. Just like those that want to go to the club or something, that's something you want to do. You made that decision yourself. You know what I'm saying? Nobody made you. That's basically what they're saying. I know it's a bad example, but that's basically what that means. You know what I'm saying? You make a choice yourself, so it's something that you want to do. You're not being forced I've been like, oh, I don't really want to do this crap. You know what I'm saying? Like, we get up and go to work every day. We kind of being forced because we know our responsibilities and what we have to do. I think that's a better example. So, but excuse me. Then also too, when it comes to this tithing thing, when I used to go to church in Fifth Ward, Monroe's Missionary Baptist Church, right up I-10 and Lockwood Drive. I know you know where that's at.
Mm-hmm.
I used to go to that church. My pastor died a few years ago. It did used to always say on the back of those envelopes, tithe offering, and then also would say a love offering. If you want to help out someone that might be in a time of need or something like that. And then, so that's completely up to you. I mean, I know the way the world is today, people will take something out of whatever situation it is and make it a whole big thing. But it's really up to you to learn more about it, to understand things, and go from there. You know what I'm saying? So that's the way the world is, man. It's basically it's all in the Bible. It's basically saying this here. It's up to I could tell you one thing, but it's up to you to try to figure out if that's really the truth or not. You could take it at face value if you want to, but if you want to know the real truth about something, it's up to you to do your research, and up to you to study and try to learn and do all this good stuff. If that's what, what I'm saying, if that's the route you want to go down in life, you know what I'm saying. So, that's basically your choice. That's what basically the Bible is telling you. It's a guide way through life, because these things have been happening way before all this crap. You know what I'm saying, been on earth. You know what I'm saying. So. And I know a lot of people will say the Bible is man-made, it's handwritten to benefit man and all that stuff. That might be true these days, but then again, it's up to you to make that determination if this is what you want to do, if this is the life you want to live, and all that stuff. But then also, Bridget was saying something about people ask God for this and that and get mad if they don't get it. And he made a point. That's true. God is not going to leave you down the road to failure, because he knows who you're surrounded by. He knows who you are as a person. Because if he give you $1 million, he knows that your cousin Pookie and your cousin Ray Ray is going to come out of the woodworks and ask you for money. You got a kind heart, you're going to give it to him. And then the next day, you're going to be dead broke. So I'm saying, he knows these things. And then also, too, a lot of people don't know, just like God can bless you, the devil can bless you as well, too. A lot of people don't understand that. And what I mean by that is, of course, the devil's going to say, here, I give you that Rolls Royce. You know what I'm saying, to get you to, you know what I'm saying, start living that foul lifestyle, I guess you could say, or lack of a better word. For a better term, I guess you could say. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't understand these things. Because I was watching something on TV one day, I forgot what it was. And this lady was saying how she wanted to go and get butt implants, but she went to she went to go get her hair done. And the lady that was doing her hair was talking about, oh, she also do butt injections. And she was like, oh, thank you. God sent you my way to help me out. And I'm thinking in the back of my head, I'm like, ain't no way in hell God finna do this to you. Finna let you, you know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't understand. Excuse me. Just like I just said, God put before you good and evil. You choose. And sometimes God is going to let you do those crazy things so you can learn your life lesson. And then sometimes God's going to put someone who's close to you to go through some things so you can learn life lessons as well, too. And then when Roger was saying that you need to also be thankful for your hard time, I forgot who it was I saw in the chat just saying that you shouldn't be thankful for struggling or something like that. They said earlier when he was talking. Actually, you should be thankful. And the reason why you should be thankful is because if you don't understand that you're going through something, so you know that, okay, like me and you talk all the time how we used to do this and do that, and then we learned lessons not to do this and not do that. I went through a hell of a hard time, and I'm not going to lie, during those times, of course, it doesn't seem like I want to thank God for that. But now that I'm older and I went through it and I can look back on it, I understand it, because a lot of those things that I was doing, I need to learn, cut that mess out, because at the end of the day, there's something better for me in the end. So I had to learn to go through those things and learn not to, and we basically learn from them because there was something waiting for me on the other end. You know what I'm saying? So, and then also too, I was watching this thing with Mike Tyson today, and on a show called In Depth, something like that, with Brad Englager or something like that. His name is. And Mike Tyson said a quote that kind of stuck with me. He said back then he didn't know what he want, but now he do know what he want, but he don't want what he used to have. You know what I'm saying? So what all that means is that, yeah, you might wanted all that money, the riches, the fame, and all that, but now when you're older, you realize some people they're not built for that. No. You know what I'm saying? Cause when he was talking, he said he had a house with 39 bathrooms. How many damn bathrooms do you need in your house?
Yeah,
that is a lot.
You know, ain't nobody gonna pee on themselves with that many damn bathrooms. There's one around every goddamn corner. You ain't got no issues with that. That's tough. That's too many goddamn.
Yeah, he said he had a house with 39 bathrooms. It's like, oh my God. So all that basically saying is that he learned that wasn't for him. He said he's more happier now that he's not rich. So he's still famous, of course, because of who he is, but he said he's more happier now that he's not rich. So he learned life lessons along the way as well too. So all I'm basically saying is this here. It's up to you to figure out what it is that you want to learn about, about religion and things like that. So, I mean, if you don't want to be a part of it, that it's completely your choice, your life, your business. I say that a lot. I don't never force anything on anybody. like when I first started doing the dance with you, I told you, yeah, I'm a Christian. I grew up in the church, but I never really talk about it unless somebody asks me questions. Or, so I'm saying, conversations come up like right now and then, y'all was talking about it. But I never really talk about it because I've always felt like this here. It's your life, your business, you do you. You know what's good, you know what's bad, you know what's right, you know what's wrong, all that good stuff. So it's your, you do you, and I'm not going to try to force you to do anything. That's not my place. You know what I'm saying? So, excuse me. But the only thing is this here, man. And another thing that, yeah, and I like the fact what Roger said about that come as you are type thing. Mm. A lot of people do take that a little bit too far. Because I'll never forget when I was, going to church and stuff, a lot of people show up and basically looking like a damn prostitute. Well, it says in the Bible, come as you are. Yeah, that means, what it is in your heart. If you feel like that you're in a bad place, but you need someone to talk to, someone to listen, things of that nature, yes. Don't be scared. Don't think just because you haven't been in church in 20 years or just because you're not driving the fancy cars like a lot of people like say in church and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That doesn't mean come up there, acting all crazy and stuff like that. So, like I say, a lot of people will take something and then use it towards their benefit. And I do agree with another thing that Brian just said. I cannot think of the name of that movie I saw. It basically was a movie, it was a documentary about this man acting like he was a priest, getting a golly, I cannot think of the name of it. It was a long time ago too. It was basically a documentary where this man was portraying like he was God. He was going to people's houses and stuff like that, had them get out of the room so he could set it up, make it look like he was creating a seance and stuff like that to get an evil spirit out of people and stuff like that. Mm. And he kept doing that for a while, and there was a documentary on him how he ended up dying in a car crash. And basically the story of the main the story of that was basically like what Roger said: don't play with God's name, because it will come back on you. So one way or another, it's not something that you really want to do. So I'm saying, and then so. I cannot think of the name of that movie. If y'all know the name of that movie I'm talking about, please put it in the chat. It's killing me now. I was trying to think of it before you called. I could not think of it. movie like maybe 5-6 years ago, something like that. But and I see the picture you put up behind you. But I don't know anything about this preacher y'all talking about.
You don't want to know. Trust me. You don't even want to know. It's
okay.
Shenanigans and tomfoolery.
Oh, okay. I'll leave it at that then. But yeah, there's a lot of people that do use the word of God, to their benefits and stuff like that. Like this old preacher back in the day, he used to be the only one on TV back in like the mid '80s, late or early '90s, mid '80s, and stuff like that. I forget his name. He got caught, cheating on his wife, trying to kill somebody else who was trying to start up a TV ministry and stuff like that.
Damn.
And he was crying on TV talking about, I have sinned, please forgive my sin. But he never told, the people what he did until it actually came out on his own. But all I'm saying is this here, man. And Roger made a good point. Yeah, people will pray to God for become millionaires and stuff like that only when they want something. It's just like a family member only coming to you when they want something. You ain't gonna like that. You're gonna tell them hell no. Well, basically, God ain't gonna say hell no, but he's gonna basically say no. You see what I'm saying? So just look at it that way. Would you want someone doing this to you? See what I'm saying? So that's basically, what it is. You wouldn't want somebody coming up to you only when they need something. Only when they figure like you got some money and stuff, or you can benefit them. That's not how the relationship works with God. It works just like with your friend, your mom, your dad. You know what I'm saying? That's how that relationship works. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people don't understand that. They think just because there's a God, we won't no bad in the world. Well, like I just said, there's a devil as well too, and that's why God say He put before you good and evil. You choose. It's your life. You live it. He's not going to force you. Nobody's going to force you. He's just going to let you know that there's also another way. There's a left way and a right way, and it's completely your choice to do whatever, with what it is that you're going to do.
I agree. And that's the power of free will, being able to make your own choices. But the same thing that comes with that is owning up to that, and not trying to put the blame elsewhere besides where it goes, which is on yourself. If you make the wrong choice.
That is true. One more thing I got is completely off topic, but did you see that story about DeAndre Hopkins' mom?
I saw that they had the article. I hadn't read it. I saw him on the cover. I think it was the ESPN he was on the cover of. And I hadn't seen. Actually, I hadn't actually read the article itself though.
I just watched it on ESPN like a few minutes ago before I joined it, and it came on. I think it was Tuesday or Wednesday it came on, but I just now watched it because I recorded it and I just now watched it. It's a powerful thing to me, man, because it's kind of like one of those type of things to where I always ask my wife this. And if any woman in the chat can answer this for me too, it's a curious question. Why is it when your man is cheating on you, you always want to fight the other woman when it's him that's doing you wrong? I ask my wife that all the time. It's like, why do women do that? It's him that's doing you wrong, but you want to beat up the other woman. When in a lot of cases, the other woman is innocent. A lot of cases, not every case, I know that, but a lot of cases, the other woman is innocent.
Competition.
She thinks she's in a relationship with this man. Don't realize that he's cheating. So the whole thing is that. Well, I ain't gonna ruin it, so I'll let you watch it or read it, whatever you want to do. But I always ask that question: why is it that women do that?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I know how the guys do it too, but you mostly hear that about women. Women will do that. They will beat up the other woman, knowing damn well that women do it. That this man who you devoted your life to, who you say you love, and he says he loves you, and he will never do you wrong. All that crap. But you'll beat up this woman, and then my wife was like, a lot of women are like that. They don't want nobody to mess with their man. I say, so you basically giving him a pass, and he gonna do it again. Then you're gonna beat up the next woman, on and on and on until you get your ass killed.
Mm-hmm.
That don't make no sense. Nip it in the bud. You know what I'm saying? Go to where it started. But anyway, I'm way off topic on that. But it's just a thing to where I've always wondered that. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Because I know, like I told y'all before, my ex-wife cheated on me. I didn't go to the other dude. I went straight to her. Because that's who said they loved me, who I had my son with, and all that stuff. I went to her. So what I'm saying? So I didn't go to the other dude. I went straight to her when my ex-wife cheated on me.
Yeah.
So I don't get that, but whatever. So I don't know.
Yeah, that's something I can never do. You know, look, hey, if she didn't stepped on or whatever, hey, you know, congratulations to you. My issues with her, we need to resolve, get any little closure we need to get. I'm not gonna fight nobody over. Now, respect is a different issue, but as far as fighting over a woman, if she's entertaining you, then shit, she ain't the one for me. You know, and I'm gonna go on, move on, and keep it player, but. Yeah, it's a thing. I mean, like I say, people feel like they can fight off all the competition to keep whatever. I mean, there's too many fish in the sea, you know, to be even entertaining that kind of behavior. So, but I mean, people do that. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, I guess it is what it is. But you fight one off, there's still gonna be another you got to deal with. So.
Yep. And then, like I said, you ain't nipped that problem in the bud, which was him. So, but anyway, let me clarify something real quick before people go start. People that don't know my story that I've said before. I did not beat her up or fight her or nothing like that. I just put her out of my house butt naked. That's what I did. So I told her, I said, since you want to give it up, I said, give it up to the rest of the, I told her, give it up to the rest of the city of Houston. That's what I did. I put her out of my house butt naked. But, but anyway, that's just always been a curious question because me, whoever did me wrong, that's who I'm going after.
Yeah.
But anyway, but yeah, I was just calling it just to give my little 2 cents on what the topic was today. And like I said, I don't know anything about that preacher, so that's why I ain't speaking on it. And he said, don't worry about it, so I'm gonna take your advice on it.
Nothing, you're not missing nothing. Just crazy modern day unnecessary drama.
I hear you. Oh well. Heidi said she'll slap my face one more again. I hear you, Heidi. That's cool. That's all right there. If she want to use my words one more again, I'm going to say it just for Heidi. One more again, Heidi. It's your boy, man, up one more again. Just for Heidi.
Already.
Oh, man.
Well, Mr.
Man,
I appreciate you calling and kind of, you know, like I say, expanding on that and sharing your thoughts on the conversation and, you know, giving people a point of view because, like I say, you don't really speak on it a lot, and so it's good to, you know, kind of letting folks know where you stand and, you know, how you feel. So I think, you know, I'm glad you did. I'm glad I was able to call you back and you can share that.
I appreciate you, man, once again, man. Thank you for taking my call. I know you could get you some rest, man, so I appreciate it once again. Yeah. And all y'all, man, y'all make sure y'all tell everybody about the Den, South Sports, and South Sports TV. I don't care if they not Texas Rockets. I don't care if they not fans of Houston sports. Tell everybody. And we can all talk some crap about our sports team. We all do it to everybody. Because I've been at work talking crap to this Chiefs fan. I've been at work talking crap to this Patriots fan. Of course, to all the Bronco fans.
Oh, they terrible.
But we can do it, man. Just tell everybody to join, watch it, whatever. I don't care. Y'all show Honcho some love, man. He deserves it. He's a hard-working man.
I appreciate that, man. I know, man. But like I said, thank you for your call, and I appreciate that love.
All right, man. You have a good one now.
All right,
see you tomorrow, man.
All right. Bye. Shout out to Amanda. Shout out to all of y'all. Shout out to everybody but this pastor, dirty pastor. Well, shout out to the pastor. I guess he gave us a topic for tonight. I hate to chill. Y'all want to fight about it? This has probably been WTMFD is what's the motherfucking deal? That's what you know. I say like every call. I say what's the motherfucking deal, or you see it. That's kind of what it is. It's like a welcoming message. Let me see what time is it. Mix your chroma, give y'all a little bit of love if any of y'all still up. Probably fuck that little zombie shit for a little bit. Look, Shelly, you ain't gonna let him make it, huh? You are not gonna let him make it. I just want to say thank you to all of y'all, man. I appreciate y'all coming through this evening. Like I said, we'll be back on it tomorrow. We should have some. So I'm gonna see what happened. I'm gonna see what happens because, like I said, with the Astros ended up playing tomorrow, it might change the plans for what's happening with the Sauce tomorrow. But we'll make it shake. Like I say, still got a lot of content coming. And we'll give the newcomer, give it a little pistachio love. As a welcome to the den pistachio boost. Shout out to all of y'all, man. Like I said, I appreciate the love. Shout out to Marie. Shout out to 335. Shout out to Dan the Man. Everybody who came and showed some love. To everybody who called in. Sweet Mary. D to Gavin, Sweet Berry, how are you? Let me see. Sweet Berry, I guess Sweet Berry. So she ain't sent me no peach cobbler. You want me to give her some pistachios? Kind of just, I can't get no pie. She trying to get some nuts. What kind of shit is that? You know what I'm saying? The pastor T-shirt. Okay, I'm gonna give you that. Yes, Miss Shelley. Oh, you called him. You absolutely right. Okay. Thank you. Hey, when it get late, y'all know my mind start trailing off a little bit, and so yes, you do get your call. I'm gonna give you a little extra bonus since you ain't called in a while. So I do appreciate it. Make sure man up gets his call in pistachio. But like I said, I'm gonna get on the mixer action here for a little bit. If y'all want to come join the mixer crew and talk a little more shit, I'm gonna keep talking shit on Mixer until they cancel my account. Eventually they're gonna ban me because Microsoft already said they are not a free speech platform, and I know randomly sometimes I slip up and say things that probably not. I guess as long as I'm small and I keep it 18 plus, maybe I'll be all right. But we'll see how long that lasts before they. I don't even think they brought kids either. I gave Rashida hers. Yeah, we're gonna have to do another one of them. We have to put like a fucking reward out for Sweetberry to call in. Everybody had the pressure to put that peer pressure on, so they get the. Yeah, they still got to win 2 more games, and they got to come back to the city and do it. So come on now, we already know how that's gonna shake. And really, what's the name had an all right game? He just took him a little to get settled in. It just wasn't, it just got ugly. That fucking foul pole piece of shit. Piece of shit ass raggedy Yankees foul pole. Fuck the Yankees. So there's that. But with that being said, man, here, let me put the link in the description for y'all if y'all want to come join the mix of those of you who don't know. Let me put that in here real quick. But again, thank all of y'all for joining. I appreciate y'all, man. I really do. I don't ever want y'all to think I take y'all for granted. I know that sometimes the conversations can be varied and everything might not always be your cup of tea. But the fact that y'all come back time and time again and just chop it up, I appreciate that. I really do. Y'all are what makes this conversation so special. Everybody except for Heidi. Heidi, I still don't know. I think she's an illegal, but she's all right in my book. So yeah, there's that. But with that being said, my good friends, y'all be cool like y'all be cool. But thank y'all for joining. Appreciate everybody who called me. And like I said, I know it's a very interesting topic too, so I'm glad y'all could join. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Same day and time, same day and channel. Actually, I'll be on time tomorrow. And maybe tomorrow I'll tell y'all why I was late today. Yeah, shout out to the pastor. I'm out.